So what is up, guys? Welcome to Heavyweight Nation podcast number 6. And today we're joined by Paul. What's up, Paul?
How you doing? Glad to be here.
All
Thanks
right.
for having me on.
So basically what we're going to be doing today, we're just going to be going over Cornell. They're ranked second in the country now. They have a big chance to win the team title. So we're just going to be going over some of their the guys coming in, some of the guys that are already there that could make the starting lineup, where we think they're going to place the natties, and pretty much just everything about Cornell you need to know for next season. So you actually go to Cornell yourself, so
Yeah, I'm fortunate. I'm in the law school, but it's close enough that I can actually walk to the Cornell duels. So I do that every so often. So I've gotten to watch quite a bit of them.
so I mean, are you like friends with any of the guys on the wrestling team or?
I'm not. There's a pizza joint downtown, so I run into them quite a bit.
Mhm.
But I don't chat with them too much. I have a couple of them follow my meme page,
Yeah,
so I know
like
them from yeah, Jonathan Lowe and Chris Foca,
uh,
and
Chris
but
Folk is my boy.
yeah, no, that guy, he's going to be good, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that a little bit later. But yeah, I have Yanni and Vito's autograph on a T-shirt. I got to speak with them. Ran into Mike Gray once.
Do they
But
like
yeah, I
know
think
who you are, like your page and stuff?
I haven't talked to any of them about it because usually I'm just like, hey, what's up if I see them at a match or
Yeah,
something during a break. But
they're chill dudes.
I'm pretty sure I've seen people look over at me in the stands because I link it to my main, so I think they know who I am.
Ah, I got you. So basically, Cornell just didn't have a great season last year. They fell to Princeton, losing their title for like the EIWA for like the first time in a good amount of years. It basically came down to a few things: the red shirts, even guys like Vito, Yanni, and Max Dean gone. Well, guys like Darmstadt obviously going through the cut he went through. He fixed at the end of the season, which I think he would have done pretty well at 97. But he ended up losing to Travis Stefanik from Princeton. Basically, not really costing him the duel, but like it was just a tough loss there, which
Yeah.
seemed like the deciding factor in the duel. This year, we're just gonna like, who are some of the guys that are coming back who could make a real impact?
Yeah, well, you mentioned some of the big ones, and I will say it is the fact that they did pretty well last year. Like they were still a top 25 team, even with like their three best wrestlers out of the lineup. They have a lot of depth. They have a lot of good guys coming in, and they have some really, really good young kids in these next couple of years. But I guess the red shirts, the returning wrestlers, the most famous one is Yanni.
Mm-hmm.
I think that everybody on the planet who follows wrestling knows, about Yanni. He actually lucked out. He took an Olympic red shirt, so he didn't lose a year of
Yeah,
eligibility.
still be a four-timer.
So he's the big one. He's going to be the favorite at whatever weight he ends up at.
Yeah,
Although Jaden Ironman is pretty good, and we got
yeah.
to watch out for him.
But what I've seen with them too is one's listed at Yanni's listed at 41, Ironman's listed at 49. But Yanni can go 41 or 49. The one limiting factor with Ironman, because Ironman's at Iowa now, the one
Yep.
limiting factor between him going 41 is Max Murin. But I think they're going to keep them at opposite weights because Jaden Ironman's a title contender unless Yanni's in his weight. But Max Murin's just a guy I think they're going to try to get his place as high as possible because I don't think he can make that final push to place yet. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see.
Well, and I think since Yanni is presumably the favorite, I think he isn't really thinking about his opponents. I think he's like, I'm the best guy at the weight, so I'll go whatever feels best for me. But yeah, Tom Brands, I think he's definitely doing what you're saying. He's trying to figure out how to shift his guys around to score the most points.
Because obviously, like, their team isn't what it was last year. So
For sure, yeah. They
I mean, a
actually,
lot of the guys are coming back, but
yeah, they have a lot of guys coming back. They lost. It's going to be an exodus next year. Like
yeah.
this year, they'll still be good. Next year,
Wait, who did they lose actually?
they lost one guy. I can't remember who it is because Kemmerer's back, Marinelli's back, Lee and DeSanto are back, Cassiope's back. Maybe they didn't lose anybody, but I
Yeah,
think I feel like they
people are
lost.
saying they lost a lot of people.
No,
I'm just trying to think.
yeah, it'll be in
Oh,
2 years.
you want to know why they moved down? Because other people are coming back. The guys that are ranked ahead of them.
Right.
Yeah. Like Lee could very well get knocked off by Dayton Fix if Fix goes 25.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
even Pat Glory. Like,
Yeah, well, even like I don't know about Suriano, but I mean he was a 125 his
yeah,
first
I
year. His
honestly don't know if Sirianni's even going to come back to wrestling because I was told that like some inside stuff happened with Rutgers. He might just not be coming back next season.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that Flo kept him out of the rankings, which is
Yeah,
kind of mysterious. But yeah,
yeah.
there's been some buzz like that. I don't have any
And
insight
they've really been dodging all the questions about it too.
for sure. But yeah, so Yanni's the big one.
Hmm.
They also have Max Dean coming back.
Yeah.
Max Dean he was a top 10 seed, but he wasn't the number one seed 2 years ago before he redshirted.
Hmm.
But he
In the
took
national finals though, so
Yes, yeah, he was a finalist, and he knocked off he pulled probably the biggest upset of the decade.
yeah.
He knocked off, I forget who it was.
Miles Martin from Ohio
Yeah,
State.
Miles
It
Martin from.
wasn't a huge upset, but like it was big considering like
It felt huge because I'd been to a match earlier that year, and Martin had teched him, or it was either teched or majored him. So
yeah,
I was watching it, and I was like, he's not going to win, and then he pulled it off.
yeah.
He's an NCAA finalist, and he has a lot of freestyle experience.
Hmm.
Um, And then obviously Vito. We don't know what weight he's going to come back at.
Yeah,
He's been pretty good at 125, but
yeah.
he's really tall and spindly, so he might not be able to cut that much.
Yeah,
Um,
but another thing with Vito is he's at 25. He's obviously split matches with Pat Glory. He pinned him the first time they wrestled, and I think he lost like 8-10 in the EIWA finals to Glory.
it was a close match. It was
Yeah,
tight.
he ended
Yeah,
up actually beating Nick Piccinini too at Natty to make the third, fourth match. So
he I think Seabass got him at nationals, but
yeah,
he's a top four contender, especially because pitch is he's gone now, so there's less competition at
yeah,
125. If he can cut down, he's going to be a threat definitely.
yeah. But you also have to consider the thing that he might be sucking a lot of weight, or
Yeah, well, the thing is, Cornell. So Chaz Tucker was the 133 starter
yeah,
last year, but he graduated.
he's
Um,
cut.
he's gone, and there's kind of a hole
Yeah,
right now.
hmm,
So what people have been thinking, what the Flow guys think, is that Vito will cut. He'll bump up to
hmm,
133, and then the guy that Cornell started last year, Dom LaJoy,
yeah,
he's solid. He qualified for NCAA's, so
okay,
he's hold the fort down. But everybody wants to see Greg Diakomahalis,
yeah.
his little brother.
But I think sending him to Finger Lakes is probably the best choice there.
Yeah, he'll probably redshirt, or I guess
Mhm.
gray shirt, whatever the term is. I forget. The Ivies have like a weird system.
I think it's a gray shirt because he's being sent to like he's not affiliated with college yet.
Yeah, and if he does make a surprise entrance this year, that would be good. But probably they'll have like a placeholder like Dom LaJoy, who's a solid
Yeah,
starter. Vito does bump
but
up.
I think either the thing it would be to I think if he gray shirts, I don't think he can come in for his freshman season, right? Like
He
if they wanted to pull it, I don't think they can. But
yeah,
I feel like that might hurt them actually because this is like the year they pull the big upset over who's number one right now. Actually,
Iowa.
it's still Iowa.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think they can. I think if you put Greg Diakomihalis at 125 versus Iowa, maybe he just only gets measured by Spencer Lee.
right. Yeah, because
But
Spencer.
Vito, I think that's upset potential right there.
Yeah, Vito's good. Vito wrestled him tough at in freestyle this
Yeah,
year.
and Vito, he's shown he can pin people too.
Yeah, Vito. He has Cornell. They like this kind of like their guys are these like tall guys, and we'll see that like their upper weights are like ridiculously tall.
Yeah,
But they like like Brett Unger, the number 33 guy.
yeah, he's
Well,
from Jersey also.
yeah. If you look at him, he's like a tall, skinny
Yeah,
guy. So they have like a type. But
yeah.
yeah, Vito's definitely a threat at either weight.
I think Brett Unger's like 19 also, so he's pretty old.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
actually, he's not. He can't do his senior year of high school, which is what I heard.
Yeah, I know he did pretty well at that New. I forget if
So
he was
he was
top.
a sophomore at States in New Jersey. He ended up winning. What was it like? He ended up majoring the kid in the finals, and
Mhm.
then he had to leave New Jersey. He went to Notre Dame in Pennsylvania because he wasn't allowed to even enter a junior season because he was too old.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's more of a problem with New Jersey because maybe not with him. I'm not sure what happened with him, but there's a couple kids in our like region and state like they start wrestling overseas as a kid. Maybe they get homeschooled like because like they're that talented,
Mhm.
and then they just like can't wrestle their years, but they just go to school to get the education.
Right, right. That makes
It's just
sense.
weird.
whenever he comes, he's going to be pretty good. That kid's
Yeah,
legit.
of course.
And New Jersey is there's a lot of talent there. So
Yeah,
doing well in New Jersey means you're
yeah.
top of the
Like a
notch.
big thing with the lightweights is like the college transition. Like you don't know.
Yeah, they got to
So,
fill in a lot
yeah,
of you got all those like
yeah,
113 pounders. You're going to have to bump up, a lot just to make 125.
yeah, of course. But like at 125, if we're gonna go through the field, say if Sirianni does come back, we'll put him at 25 because I think he has to maintain the weight class for the Olympic trials.
That's true.
So if he does come back, I think he's gonna be at 25, especially with Sammy Alvarez having a huge season, right?
Yeah, for Rutgers. Yeah,
Yeah. So basically, how I think the rankings would go is it would be Spencer Lee, Nick Suriano, Dayton Fix, Pat Glory, then Vito.
I think so. Yeah, you got to give because he's always wrestled Glory tough.
Yeah, but Glory did beat him the last time they wrestled.
Glory beat him last time, and then this year Glory looked better than he's ever looked. So
Yeah,
we
of
don't know
course.
if he's like jumped a
Yeah,
level.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be the only person to say it. Like I want Glory to beat Spencer Lee. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I think he holds him to a decision.
If anybody's gonna do it this year, it's gonna be Glory.
Yeah, or Dayton Fix. You never know.
That's true. That's true.
Because Dayton Fix looked like a guy like he wasn't too big for 133. He looks like he's not going to get affected too much by the cut to 125, more than Suriano will.
I think he could cut to 125.
Yeah.
One of the reasons they might do that is Oklahoma State has a lot of guys from like
Yeah.
133 to 149
Yeah.
pounds. So if he can cut down, they might want him to do that so they can fit in like a Jaffeller or
Yeah.
somebody else at one of the other spots.
You know who that guy Brock that we're talking about was? Because I might just be out of the loop a little bit.
It's Cade Brock. Yeah, he's
Cade Brock is cutting to 33.
I think they said that that's the lowest he could go.
That's insane to do.
Well, I mean, he has some filthy moves, Cade
Yeah.
Brock. I would like to keep him up a little bit.
Yeah, because like John Smith's made that mistake before with weight cuts. I mean,
exactly. Yeah,
like,
I think
you can't force guys lower than like they're mentally willing to go.
right. But I think Fix is tough. That guy.
So it's just if the seeds do fall that way, Vito will have Pat Glory.
That's going to be a tough match.
Yeah. But the way I think it's going to go, if we're going to go seeding wise, I have Pat Glory taking out Dayton Fix. Glory gets the 2 seed. Suriano gets the 3. Dayton Fix gets the 4. Fix versus Vito is a great match. It went down at one of the freestyle tournaments. Vito,
yeah.
I mean, Dayton Fix still teched him, but Vito got a couple takedowns, so.
I think he was up. Vito was up 6-0, and then Fix went nuclear and won like 18 something. But Vito was there for a little bit, definitely.
Yeah. It's like you can't really use your conditioning against any of these guys because all these guys are in very good shape. Like Glory, that was like the thing that got to him, like as a younger kid in high school, right? Because he ended up getting pinned by Sebastian Rivera his sophomore year in the state finals. He was up 4-3 heading to third. All good. Sebastian Rivera gets 2 takedowns, ends up pinning him at the buzzer at the end of the match. Yeah, so that's why like there's a lot of history between them. If Sebastian Rivera is probably going up to 133 or staying at 133 or going up to 141, which he said. So, I mean, Glory just looks like he has like that extra motivation against Spencer Lee. And Spencer Lee's conditioning isn't too great, like as we've seen. He comes out firing.
Yeah, Tom, the Iowa people don't like it when you say that he doesn't have conditioning, but that is definitely true. I think what's going to happen, though, is you have so many top-level people coming back that it's hard to predict who's going to be at what weight because I'm pretty sure that some of these guys are waiting to see, like, oh, Micic is staying, or, Fix decides to go down. Maybe that makes it more likely that, Vito bumps up to 133 or, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of chess.
There's a lot of factors going into this. And what I'm saying about Spencer Lee, like, he obviously has conditioning, but you see this with a lot of guys who go all out on top, like Ethan Lezak. You've seen his conditioning is obviously great. He's a D1 wrestler. He's a 3-time All-American. But the thing is, when you put so much effort into your top ride, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you've obviously seen the match with the Ethan Lezak versus Thomas Gilman, right?
I have, yeah.
He was down 1 turn left to tech him, right? In his mind, he's like, I want this turn. I want the tech. Because I know if it goes to the next period on my feet, I'm screwed.
Yeah, Lezak, he was one of the, like, great boomer bust guys for me because, he had a very, very, very advanced top game.
Yeah.
but he would kill himself in matches, with like on his feet, conditioning, that kind of thing. It was kind
Yeah.
of
It wasn't even conditioning. It's like riding. Like I love riding on top. That's my thing.
yeah, same.
If I ride for like 2 minutes, and in college sometimes it's upward. It's a lot harder to ride kids. If I ride for 2 minutes and I just like I'm struggling, like break the kid down, don't even get a turn or a pin out of it, I'm hurting a little bit going to the next period. Like
Well, we
not,
actually,
yeah,
not to jump in and jump ahead to somebody else, but I made it to the North Carolina Cornell duel this year,
yeah,
and this is the one where Ben Darmstadt took the loss to Brandon Whitman, who was unranked. It
hmm
was actually a Flow Wrestling like nominee for upset of the year.
yeah,
And basically happened was Darmstadt, he got down by like 2 or 4 points early
mhm,
in the match. He rode Whitman the entire second period, but
yeah,
couldn't turn him. And I think he wore himself out a little bit because in the third period, when Whitman chose neutral, he got a takedown in the third. And I think that Darmstadt kind of tired himself out riding on top and didn't get the turn. And I
yeah.
think that's why he dropped
I
him.
think the reason like they didn't pick him for like upset of the year. I mean, there were a lot bigger upsets, but like you see it a lot. Like everybody knew he was sucking weight because like nobody really labeled those as chokes like on the outside. Because I'm looking at them, I'm like, he's sucking way too much weight. Dude looks like a skeleton already at 97. Like he could have very well went heavyweight if he wanted to. If Furman wasn't like a solid dude.
It was confusing. I'm not going to lie because Max Dean is coming back at 184.
Yeah,
So
but
it
I
would
just don't agree with that choice either way. To put
yeah,
him down to 84,
just
it
leave him
just
up at
hurts him.
157 the whole year. But, they figured it out. And,
Yeah,
he went and he murdered Pat Brucky
yeah,
um, when they wrestled.
yeah. Like Pat Brucky and Jacob Warner too. And 97 was just all over the place last year.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess are we making our way like up the weights?
Yeah, I think so. We can hop around, but like I'd like to keep it like structured just like as much as possible.
Sure, sure. I
Like if
wasn't
you
sure.
want to branch off, we can do that. But
I wasn't sure if we should go into like a Ben Darmstadt tirade immediately or
yeah,
uh,
no, I mean it's
we're
a
good.
podcast. It's gonna go on for a while.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Um,
So you want to go back to 133, or do you want?
yeah, 133 works for me. I mean, Spencer. It's basically Spencer next topic. I mean, Spencer is probably going to win, but definitely Cornell set up for success there. You got Vito currently. You got Greg coming in. He's going to hold down the fort.
A 133?
Oh, no, 125. I meant. I was
Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah, I was like Spencer. I'm like, hold up.
yeah. No, 133 is a big question mark
Yeah,
because if
'cause I
Vito,
don't know any of these guys honestly.
yeah, honestly, I can't. Basically, unless Vito bumps up, Cornell probably isn't going to have somebody that's going to like place or be
Yeah,
like a top
because I
25.
think they very well, because like this is their year to win, right?
Yeah,
Like last year was Iowa's year. Because if you see the teams coming back, Michigan and Cornell are like right on their ass. You know what I'm saying?
close. They're close.
So I think maybe they keep Vito at 25. They take Greg and put him at 33.
The thing is, you want to do that. The whole development, like let the guy take the gray shirt
Yeah,
year.
but it's like they have to go now.
The team title. Yeah, Cornell
Yeah,
has. I mean, they came in second one year, but they haven't won. People talk about
yeah,
Oklahoma State and Iowa and Penn State, and Cornell's been in the top 10 like every year.
yeah,
Got as high second, but they haven't won. So I think if Rob Cole
yeah.
thinks that Greg can like AA or something, that he'll throw him in.
It's honestly, in my opinion, I think Iowa guys are gonna get knocked off throughout there. Spencer Lee, if Pat Glory knocks him off, that's a huge plus for like every team, right?
Definitely.
And then DeSanto, I have him placing sixth in mine. Nobody agrees with that. I just think he's insanely overrated. Like even people saying he's overrated, I think he's even lower than that. But like, you know what I'm saying?
I love DeSanto
Yeah,
if I'm trying to get non wrestlers into wrestling
yeah,
and I'm like, yo, go watch this, like he's cartwheel Chimeraing
yeah,
people. But I was watching him against in I think it was the RBY match,
yeah.
and RBY just hit his elbow the whole time,
Mhm.
and DeSanto like couldn't do anything. Like it was like if he didn't have the elbow, he couldn't attack, and it
But
was just
RBY is like you also have to consider RBY is like a generational talent, athleticism wise.
that's true. I guess I'm just saying like if you think about who's going to be at the weight,
Yeah,
like let's just say Fix and Soriano stay up. You
yeah.
got Miocic coming back. You got RBY.
Sebastian Rivera,
You got Seabass, who has looked killer when he's
yeah.
not cutting that much.
And
And
even Alvarez too.
yeah, he's Sammy Alvarez. Yeah, I think he did he have a 1 point match with DeSanto or was that Ridge Lovett. That
I
might have been
think that might have been Ridge Love from Nebraska is a huge Greco dude, and
yeah,
Austin Gomez also.
yeah. Lovett as a filthy top game, but it's
Yeah,
just like DeSanto's not going to beat Fix. He's
yeah,
not going to beat Mitchich. He's not going to beat Seabass. He's not going to beat RBY.
yeah,
You know, he's not going to beat Soriano. It's like his ceiling is fifth place, and if
mhm,
he gets knocked off by Sammy Alvarez,
yeah.
yeah, he's
I
going to
think I actually have what's it called, Alvarez beating RBY next time.
be really interesting. I
It's a tough call, but like Alvarez has like that boost, like coming into college. Like he was a 4-time state finalist. He only won his senior year. He lost to Anthony Clark. I think you know who that is. He's committed to Princeton.
mhm.
Mhm. He lost to him his freshman in his sophomore year. No, wait, sophomore in his junior year, right? He might not made the finals his freshman year, and then his senior year he goes in as a 2 seed. He had a 5-4 match with Robert Howard, who's Penn State commit. Yeah, I'm
Robbie
pretty
Howard.
sure everybody knows him at this point. So he wrestles Howard. Howard gets a takedown like 10 seconds. No, Alvarez gets a takedown like 10 seconds in after Howard goes for like a headlock. It was like, you know how Howard's like one of those hyper dudes?
Oh yeah, yeah. His gas tank. Yeah,
He
he's
goes for a headlock, looks like he's going to get it. He slips it. Howard flips onto his own back, then flips over Alvarez to get a reversal for 2. And then they start going into like actual wrestling stuff that looks like normal. And
right.
then it ends up 4-4. They go to overtime. Howard takes a shot right away. Alvarez has an underhook, throws it by, and beats him sudden victory.
That's resilience.
Yeah, I think he's probably like the highest ranked. He's probably the second best dude to only win one state title.
You
Like
know.
Jojo Aragona
Oh yeah, JoJo. Yeah, yeah. We're going through the
never
yeah.
won a state title either
Really.
until his senior year. And he's ranked number 1 in the country.
Oh, he's gonna be good. Listen, I gotta admit, I'm not the biggest fan of the Rutgers program,
Yeah,
but you gotta respect like JoJo. I saw him at Beat the Streets.
yeah,
He's pretty good.
yeah,
Sammy Alvarez, Nick Serrano, like they're
yeah,
if they can start getting all those New Jersey guys,
mhm,
they're gonna do pretty well.
yeah.
Because a lot of those New Jersey guys step out
You
and
know
end up
who
going to
what's
Rutgers.
his name? Do you know who John Poznansky is?
Yeah, yeah, John Sneski.
Yeah, like Chris, like everybody like is gassing him up, like because he was. If you did you watch him at all this year?
I don't think I did.
So
No.
he basically pinned and teched everybody in the state.
Okay.
He wrestled Ark in the county finals, demolished him. I mean, no real way to put that. He goes out there in the finals, scores like 2 takedowns in 20 seconds, and then starts turning him on top. It looks like it's about to be a tech fall. He just chins him back and just sticks him with brute force. Like he tech falled our kid, but he didn't make a real attempt to stick him. And then people are like, oh, he's gonna body Chris Foca now. And like as like you also have to realize that you know who what's his name? Luke Rada is committed to Harvard.
I think I've seen something about him. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he tech pinned that kid,
Okay.
who's another Harvard commit.
This dude's legit.
And yeah, there's another kid, Ryan Rogers from Blair Academy.
Yeah, yeah.
He beat him 5-2 in Beast of the East. But people are like, oh, he's gonna body Chris Foca and all that. And Chris Foca pretty much handled him in the state final the year before that, right?
Right.
And you follow some of these Cornell recruits like in high school, right?
I do. Yeah, some of
So
them.
you know who Michael O'Malley is?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, he wrestles at Drexel. I think he could be a legitimate threat to Foca, being like these guys have wrestled like 10 times just in the course of O'Malley's senior year, right? It's like O'Malley pinned him, beat him like 9-1 in the state finals, and beat him like 3-some in the district finals. Like all these guys have close connections with each other. That's why it's like they're a lot closer than you would think. Just
That
kind of
makes
weird thing
total
about.
sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't know if Poznansky can keep up like the same attack rate and everything
Mhm.
in college. Like that's kind of confusing part to me.
Yeah. So the level.
Yeah. Because what he did was basically just go offense, and then the kid in the state finals, he got another shot on him, basically burn off like 40 seconds of clock right there.
Interesting.
Yeah, like he didn't score on him, but
So you're trying, yeah, but it's kind of like a Zahid thing where the guy's
Yeah.
gonna come out swinging, you got to slow him down if you can.
and like Zahid, Mark Hall was basically able to shut him down,
Mhm.
but like as best as anybody really can.
Right.
Yeah. Kyle Dake did it the best, probably.
That's true. Yeah,
I love
those.
Kyle Dake, so
Yeah, I was gonna say like you,
yeah,
the best defensive wrestler, one of the best in the world.
yeah.
So, but yeah, that's interesting. There's a lot of good kids coming up. I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
an eye on them.
The
It's nice.
crazy the
Yeah,
part is like all these kids have like history with each other, so it's like you see like 3 seeds getting knocked off by like 14 seeds in like the round of 16. Like that's why.
interesting. Yeah, there's definitely like probably like a mental element
Yeah,
of like, oh, I've wrestled this guy.
yeah,
Kind of like with Dake and David Taylor, where they've been wrestling since like high school.
yeah,
Dake was just like, I'm not gonna lose to him.
yeah.
You know,
The match that I really want to see is what is it Alvarez versus Stevan Miocic.
that
Because
would be.
I honestly think Alvarez could be a national title contender.
He's as good. I think this was his kind of year to take some like tough losses and
Yeah,
like get
he's a true freshman too. He
right.
could very well redshirt
Yeah, and then
if
yeah,
Soriano wants to come back. He redshirts.
yeah. If he doesn't redshirt, then I think he'll be better definitely this next time.
100%.
Yeah.
Because something a lot of guys don't look at is like their improvement from their senior year of high school to this. Like if you look at a guy like again Luis Fernandez, he's only a two-time state champ in New Jersey, which basically doesn't seem like much going to D1 level, especially as an upperweight. Because like you have these guys like Colin Schultz coming in, Gable's already in there, Paris. They're all four-time state champs.
Right.
But what you don't look at is Luis Fernandez was like a little scrawny 170 coming in. Didn't even make the state tournament. At 195, he made the state tournament his sophomore year. Didn't get anywhere. He was a 220, ranked behind two other nationally ranked kids. Probably wasn't even going to make the state finals. Already pinned the number one heavyweight in state that year on top, riding legs like he does. So he just took the shot, went up to heavyweight, pulled a 6 seed, ended up beating the same kid 3-0 in the state semifinals. And what he did to the kid in the finals was like, he was only 220, right? Wrestling heavyweight.
Yeah,
But
he's
the
not.
other kid was 218. So it can go two ways because he's a leg rider. It's either he can't ride the kid at all because like the kid's like smaller than you trying to ride legs. It just
Yeah,
goes all over the place.
right.
Especially him being like 6'4".
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Yeah. He's a solid like 270 now too. Like he looks just as lean as he was.
He bulked up for sure.
Yeah.
Which a lot of these guys, they're in high school. They think they're lifting. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I'm lifting, and then you get into the college, the workout room.
100%.
All right, we're
I've
gonna.
never seen a kid as like I've never seen a kid who works harder than him. And like I don't even know him personally. Like I just look at like if you see his face like during matches, like it is like it looks like you're maxing out like a deadlift or something like that.
I believe it. I mean,
Yeah.
he's already knocked off a couple kids that are pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He only lost 4-0 to Gannon Gremmel.
yeah, and Gremmel's pretty good. He
Yeah.
he has a couple top
He
20.
was honestly just getting ridden out on top, even up 2 points, right? Like
Yeah,
he didn't get the escape and
a lot of times with
by
these
the
young,
right time.
like the people that are gray shirting or they're coming out of high school,
Yeah.
go up against a good college rider and you're gonna struggle. But
Yeah.
I can figure that out. Like the coaches will help you work out on bottom and you'll improve in that area.
Yeah. I think Fernandez is a guy they want to turn into like a full 285.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has the.
Just for the reason that like if he can figure out a way to put together that leg ride, he's gonna be a national champ.
It's interesting because you already look at him, and I think Flo has him in like it's somewhere in like the teens.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be more of like a Tony Cassiope situation. He was ranked 16th, ended up undisputably the third best kid in the country, right?
Yeah, it's a conservative. Him and Kirkvliet too at heavyweight. Those guys could. It's kind of like Flo's like, well, we haven't seen that much tape on him yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that they're going to start shocking some people. They'll pull off some big wins and
Yeah.
make runs in the
I
tournament.
think Kirkfleet's ranking is just like in case he doesn't. Because I went over this on number 4 with again the Binghamton kid,
Yeah.
Colin Burns. So basically, what he said is like very interesting. It's like I had the same process, but like we're heavyweights, like we think different. Like we know like what exactly is happening, like why he won, what could be prevented. Because it's kind of weird just looking at heavyweights to be like, oh, he's just like he was just stalling each other out for like 2 periods, right? Like you can think like exactly what's happening. So he did. Obviously, we have Gable going first,
Right, for sure.
right? He had We both had the same top four, right? So
Harris,
Gable going first, Kirkfleet making the finals.
interesting.
Yeah,
I
Tony Cassiope. You want to know why we have Kirkfleet's making the finals? Because you would think he's like an undersized kid. He's physically the strongest kid in the weight class.
and he's in the Penn State room, so
Yeah,
as if he wasn't already like he doesn't have he has the strength, and then Kale's gonna get his hands on him.
yeah,
And
he's the strongest kid in the NCAA hands down. He was only 235, and I saw him benching like 420 pounds.
I believe it.
Yeah, it's just insane, like how strong he is. Like he only lost 3-2 to Gable Stevenson.
He's
He was
he,
bumping up a weight class, and he was a year younger.
he's as close. I'm not sure like they're like prodigies and like generational talents, and it's a little bit early to say that about him. He could be a guy that ends up like a two-time champ or a three-time.
100%, he's a generational talent. But it's like people don't know that yet. They're playing it safe with freshmen. Like the
That's
same thing when Gable came into high school. Gable was a lot more prevalent because he wrestled on the senior level as a 17-year-old, while Kirkley just went to the U23, and he still beat Jordan Wood from Lehigh, right?
yes, he
And
did.
Jordan Wood plays fourth at NCAA's. Kind of, he didn't really fall off like people say he did. I think he just got like a little bit more outclassed with people coming into the thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, but again, with a guy like Luis Fernandez, I think it's the same situation, right? He's gonna start knocking off some kids even more. I think he's gonna hit his cap with after he beats the Harvard kid,
Yeah, he
Yaroslav
can't pronounce his name, man. It's
Yaroslav Slavaluski. But that kid's raw, like he's insanely good. Kid's a true freshman also. So him versus is Harvard in the EIWA?
they are, yes.
Yeah, so that's gonna be good EIWA final.
Yeah, for sure.
But who else is there actually
I,
that can make the finals?
let me check. I know most of the teams, but
Yeah.
a lot of the teams in the EIWA are actually pretty bad.
Oh, Lehigh's in the EIWA, Jordan Woods. So
Yeah, he's
it's
the
gonna
other.
come down to them in the semifinals most likely.
Jordan Wood, I think he won EIWA this year.
He's a two-time EIWA champ.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Lehigh. Yeah. Yeah. Yaroslav from Harvard, and then the next, yeah, Cornell Fernandez
Yeah,
and I. Oh, Zachary Knight and Ward from Hofstra, I think
yeah,
was.
that dude's raw too. Like he could pin any kid at any time. He has nasty lat drop.
Brendan Furman beat him at EIWAs this year,
Yeah,
and you can tell that Furman, like he had a better game plan coming in. And
Mhm.
Furman is a very solid starter, but
yeah,
like Zachary Knight and Ward, you could tell looking at that guy if he can like figure it out,
yeah,
he's going to be a force because he has a lot of gifts that
yeah.
are going to help him
He's
out.
only like 245, but the thing with him, he tries to manhandle kids that you can't necessarily handle.
Well, if you look at him, he's a big guy. So like
Yeah,
coming into college, he was probably able to get away with that sometimes.
yeah,
So, but
100%.
if he can figure out how to like out technique people,
Yeah,
add that to
because even a guy like Kirkfleet, like that's what he would do. He wouldn't. I don't think I've ever seen him take a shot in high school. All he would do was like bear hug, lift, and toss you.
right, right.
Yeah. So where were we? Like what weight class?
Yeah, we went 125. Then we basically
133.
talked about heavyweights.
Yeah. 133 is pretty much, honestly, just like give up as least points as possible and win like whatever possible.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't unless Vito bumps up and they run out to like Dom LaJoy Vito. This is going to be a throwaway weight
Yeah.
this year.
I think basically they could just like that's probably not smart. Have them just alternate weight classes like every day. Like that's not gonna fly in college.
Yeah, I don't. They probably won't do that,
Yeah.
but they could. It probably depends on what Vito wants. I
Yeah.
mean, like you mentioned, he'll want to stay small for his freestyle ambitions.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't have an All American at every single weight. I mean, I know Iowa thinks that they can do that,
It's
but
it's not gonna happen.
realistically, you're going to have a couple weights where you have to have placeholders.
Yeah.
And 133 is one of them.
So yeah, that's pretty much what 133 is to them. So 141, obviously we got man Yanni, two-time national champ. The most interesting story is going to be having Jaden Ironman if he ends up in the same weight class, because Ironman's the only kid who's ever beaten him in college.
So I actually went back recently and I watched that match,
Yeah.
and
He gave it away.
they were trying to cradle each other the whole time. Yeah, Yanni, I forget if he took a shot or
He
something
did take
happened,
the shot, and then he got hit with the roll through cradle.
and then Ironman cradled him, and that physically hurt me to watch
Yeah,
because like I'm a Cornell fan. I love
yeah.
Yanni.
Because
And even Ironman and freestyle too. He was out there like making some people look really bad.
yeah,
You
but
know,
no, Ironman's like very solid.
yeah, he's been right there with Yanni. Like
Yeah,
if Yanni had to wrestle Ironman, I would be nervous for
yeah,
Yanni because anything can happen with Ironman.
100%. It's like what's it called? Like that's kind of just what happened. Like the match, like when you get to a guy like Yanni who stays like calm and collective the entire match. If you can get a guy like him to struggle, not even struggle, just get like too over ambitious to score, his technique really just went out the window there.
I agree.
Like
I
that's
agree.
honestly kind of what it looked like.
Although to be fair, I mean Ironman like is probably the second best scrambler in college right now. Like he's a top 5
Yeah,
scrambler too.
yeah,
So I mean he has he's one of the people that can scramble with Yanni.
yeah.
But this weight actually looks pretty good. I'm really
It's,
sad that my boy Tristan Moran is not returning because I really enjoyed watching him
you know
wrestle.
what's happened to him?
I think he grew. I think he was a senior. I'm pretty sure.
I thought he was like a freshman.
Oh no, not Tristan Moran. No, I don't think so. Let me double check.
Because I'm pretty sure he was like a first year starter.
Let me double check. Tristan Moran. He. No, he was a senior this year.
Then
Yeah.
who was the 141 before that?
Yes. Yeah. He was at 157 in.
Oh, so he cut a lot.
Yeah. Well, he's a big guy. He according to like him himself on like his social media,
Yeah.
he walks around at like 175.
Oh, yeah.
Guy, and I think he basically, he might not have come back even if they got eligibility, but he
Mhm.
was a lot of fun to watch wrestle.
Yeah.
But
He has some big ones.
Nick Lee's coming back, and that guy looked really good in
Yeah.
freestyle.
I think Nick Lee's a folk style wrestler too, and Yanni's not a folk style wrestler. He's a
Now,
freestyle.
Yanni once, I think he said, my freestyle informs the way that I wrestle folk style. So
Yeah,
I think he thinks of that because the way Yanni, like he basically preps by like watching Europeans and all, like he watches freestyle,
yeah,
and then he uses that to help him out with folk style.
and that's
But
the right way to think about it for him.
yeah, I think Nick
He
Lee
also, I think he should know that like guys like Nick Lee could definitely take him out.
for sure. Well, I think the McKenna loss in freestyle for Yanni, I think that probably
Yeah,
let him know because everybody kept saying like, oh, it's Jo, Zane, and Yanni,
yeah,
and then Yanni took that like. Personally, I don't think it was a takedown at the end, but that's the way the refs called it.
yeah,
But yeah, I think he can. Yanni struggles with people like McKenna is like he's strong,
yeah,
and his approach was like I'm just gonna go take you down. We're not gonna do this scrambling nonsense. Although McKenna was a good scrambler,
yeah. That's what Nick Lee does too.
yeah. Yanni struggles with guys that are like Zane, McKenna, Nick Lee,
Mhm.
those types. So usually you can't out scramble him.
Yeah.
Ironman being the
If
one.
you want to talk about what's 65 kgs for the Olympic trials next year,
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
I
that's
mean, my pick is going to be Zayn. I just think that he's proved it time and time again. Like he's been doubted by everybody.
I think the way that I look at it is I think it's a big circle. So I think Jo, if Jo is hot, Jo can beat Zayn. I think that Yanni generally will beat Jo because they used to train together because
Yeah,
Jo they were at the Titan Mercury RTC.
yeah,
But I think Zayn wrestles Yanni perfectly every single
mhm,
match. And it's like Zayn is like he's so well prepared to wrestle Yanni.
yeah,
I think if they wrestle, like I'm picking Yanni, I'm gonna roll with Yanni,
yeah,
and I would like I watched all their Final X matches.
yeah.
I was actually in the library.
Like I love Penn State. Like I'm just gonna say that. Like
Oh yeah, no,
I'm not a real fan of any team, but like I just like watching good wrestling teams. You know what I'm saying? Like
I like but like
yeah.
I've loved watching Zayn. I loved
Like when
watching.
I had a Flow subscription, I would literally go into duels of like random teams. Like I would just hop on to Oregon State real quick and just watch Amar Desi wrestle.
Desi's good. Yeah, I like him.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, Penn State, I do appreciate. Like I don't root for him, but I
yeah.
appreciate greatness when I see it.
Yeah.
But
Like,
yeah,
I
so
don't have a Flow account anymore, so I just have to watch whatever's on. Just try to find best matches. Yeah,
right. So at that way, I'm picking Yanni to win.
Yeah.
But definitely Ironman is dangerous. Nick Lee is dangerous. Shockingly, I don't think Chad Red or Ian Parker would be a problem. Cade Brock, I have to give some love to. I love Cade Brock.
Is
But I think Dom Demas is low key a pretty good wrestler.
I don't think he's. I think he was like more of like a one hit wonder of that tournament.
Okay, all
Like
right.
he might have been injured a little bit. Who knows what happened this season?
I
I'm
was
not.
wondering
I'm
that
not sure what happened.
because Demas wrestled Yanni pretty tough at
He
NCAA's.
did, yeah.
Yeah, but he
But it
also
was more of like a match. Like he was a kid who went out ambitious, right? He knew that I have nothing to lose. Like I'm gonna go big.
that's true, and he's an upper body guy, so
Yeah,
he can like make those big throws.
yeah,
But I don't. I think it's between Yanni, Ironman, and Lee, and I think Yanni's probably the favorite.
yeah. And Ironman's go if Ironman goes up too, yeah,
Yeah, Yanni could bump
yeah,
up. If he did, it would probably be because they want to like put Josh Saunders in.
yeah.
Josh Saunders doesn't need to wrestle either.
Hmm.
I think he's coming in. There's been buzz that he's going to take like an Olympic training, an OTC year.
Yeah,
But if they want to knock him right away, he's been a very good wrestler in high school. He's very consistent. So they could run out Saunders and then Yanni if they want to. They
yeah,
have a lot of guys from like 125 to 149 that they could like choose to redshirt or not redshirt or add in or that kind of thing. So they have a lot of flexibility.
yeah. So I'm basically from like my pick at 141. I'm gonna go completely against everything. I have. I don't want to be that guy, but like I have Nick Lee winning, just for the sole reason that he's able to get on those shots without hitting the knee.
That's true.
Maybe not on Yanni, but he did it on Luke Pletcher. And Pletcher's a hard guy to get in on shots too, right?
I'm not gonna lie. When I see Nick Lee wrestle, he reminds me a little bit of Zayn.
Yeah,
And
of course. Like they've all practiced together, and
right,
having Zayn and Jason Dolph in the room is only gonna like strengthen that core.
yeah,
That's
and we
why I have Zayn winning at 65 also.
because Nick Lee was good the year before last, and then this year he came out and he was like on a warpath.
Mhm.
I know he took the loss to Pletcher, but I mean Pletcher was he leveled up a lot this year. I think Nick Lee, I I still can't call it, but
I think
Nick
that's who
Lee,
Pletcher practices with too. Like he practices with
yeah.
Sammy Sasso, Logan Stieber's probably around a little bit. Like
Sure. And yeah, although one person to watch is I want to see is Echamendia available this year?
I really have to doubt he's going 41.
I don't think so. I'm just hoping
What I
not.
could see happening is
But
I I could see Sass. I don't want to see Sassa going up. I really could see Sassa going down though.
really interesting. With that because he has gas tank problems. Because I watched him against
Yeah,
I think it was Hunter Richard in their duel and
and Brayton Lee also.
yeah Brayton Lee.
Yeah,
That's fair. That's fair.
that was a big one. But I don't think I don't think the gas tank problems came from like him cutting weight.
Okay,
'Cause he didn't look sucked. He just looked tired.
that's a good way to put
Which
it.
is
I
like
know
a weird way to go about it. Yeah.
you can cut it might make sense.
I think he's lacking like muscle wise. Like he's just getting beat up by stronger dudes physically. Like
Right.
that's why Lugo beat him.
Well, he wants to go.
Technically, he's so far advanced past Pat Lugo. I think if they were the same strength, Sasso majors him hands down.
Definitely. I think Lugo beat him. I watched that match. I think
Yeah.
Lugo kind of like he's sure of himself. He knows what he's doing. He had a game plan. He didn't let Sasso get in these kind of
Yeah.
scrambly
I
situations.
mean, yeah. I don't think he majors Lugo. I think he beats him
Sure.
because like I don't think I've seen anybody ever like manhandle Lugo like that except Zane Rutherford.
Right. Well, that
And that was when he was
greatest of the generation.
Zane's the most dominant college wrestler I've ever seen as senior season.
I completely. People talk about like Bo, and I'm like Zane. The flow guys keep picking Metcalf
Bo
over.
was like big moves.
Yeah.
Zane was like, I'm gonna pin you, and I'm gonna make it hurt.
I honestly, I was showing because I've been teaching working on my little brother. I have younger brothers, and I was trying to explain to them like the bow and arrow.
Mhm.
And we're watching the YouTube videos of Zane pinning people, and they're like,
It's not illegal until you hit college, though.
yeah. Well, we're just kind of like wrestling
Yeah,
around.
you mess around. Yeah,
Like this dude had filthy moves,
Mhm.
and they're like, oh my goodness, like because you can see the dudes are like they're basically like being choked out and having their leg like twisted the
Yeah.
wrong way.
It's all about keeping the pressure forward on it.
I have to respect
You
it
know who? You know Adam Kuhn, obviously, mostly.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
In college, his senior year, he started running bow and arrows.
Really,
Yeah,
I don't think I caught. I'll have to see some of
he's
his.
run it a few times on kids. I think he might hit it on the Nebraska dude.
I would
Not
love.
Jensen or Kristen Lance. Probably some. I think it was like a different guy.
I'll have to look that up. I want to see heavyweight.
I don't think that was Zane was known for the bow and arrow, right?
That was his move. Yeah,
Kuhn was known for his body lock,
for sure.
but he never really rode on top. It was like who's he pinned? He's pinned Matt Sensel.
Yeah, yeah,
He pinned Conan Jennings, if you know who that is.
yeah. He's always been like a solid guy.
Yeah, he pinned Sam Stoll.
Okay, Stoll was good.
He just body locked him right to his back. He majored Nick. He almost pinned. I think that was a pin against Neville's, but the ref just was like in a weird angle to call it.
I don't think he had to deal with Gwiz and who,
Snyder.
yeah, Snyder. I mean, he might be one of the greatest like non-champions.
Yeah, 100%. Everybody just wants to overlook them because he's a heavyweight. He's like, he just should have won. Like, having
No,
an Olympic champ ahead of you doesn't really help.
yeah,
And
yeah,
like people's like, he's like 60. Kyle Snyder's 60 pounds less than him. Kyle Snyder is just as strong as Adam Kuhn.
yeah. You can't like look at Adam Kuhn. He ran into two really, really, really good
Yeah,
heavy.
easy.
But
I think I'm not sure if he was injured some of the year with Medbury, but I think he would have beat Conor Medbury, made the finals.
I think he could have too. Yeah,
It's not even like Snyder was behind him and beat him. Snyder used to bully him in the Big Ten finals,
mm-hmm.
and then Adam Kuhn basically just closed the gap. He wrestled. I don't want to say he threw away the match because, like, if I was in that situation, it's tied 1-1. I would want to be the one to take the shot because he did an interview after, which is like, I wouldn't want to do that like, after I lost the national final, right?
right.
But what he said is like,
That's like when they interview.
I took the shot. I probably maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I had. But he said, I want to go out on my terms. He's like, I don't like the results, but I can accept them. Like,
Right. Yeah, I was thinking.
Yeah.
You don't really want to interview like people after they lose.
Yeah.
Because usually when
Especially a guy like Adam Kuhn.
yeah, they learn not to do that in the UFC.
Yeah.
When they ask like some guy who just got like concussed out of his mind, they're like,
Yeah.
"So how do you feel?" And he's like, they don't want to talk.
I think Kuhn might have volunteered to do the interview.
Okay. Yeah. No, I love.
I don't know.
I love Adam Kuhn.
Yeah.
He always his like resting face is crazy. Like he just kind of like glares at everybody at all times.
Like he's one of the nicest dudes I've ever talked to. Also.
But he looks imposing. That's the thing. Like he's a nice dude. Yeah. Definitely. But I guess if we're gonna say anything about 149 beyond that, I'm a big fan of AOC, Austin O'Connor. Honestly,
no, I mean for like Cornell though. I don't really know about anybody.
Yeah,
I think Hunter Richard's gonna be the starter though, right?
They're gonna run out Hunter Richard. Hunter Richard, he qualified for NCAA's.
Okay.
He's what we would call like a gamer. Like he comes out, he wrestles everybody hard.
Mm-hmm.
He almost got Sammy Sasso at the very end because Sasso was completely gassed.
Yeah.
But he was losing, and
he's like a Steve Blyce type of wrestler.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And he only lost to, I think he lost like 2-0 or 4-0 to Austin O'Connor, but he shut him down. He's a very tough wrestler. He qualified. He was going to finish, top 25.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I feel comfortable.
I think 49 is going to be Jaden Ironman's weight class.
If he bumps up, it's his. Yeah, I would love to see.
I think he beats O'Connor by major, and he beats Sasso by at least 4 or 5.
Yeah, O'Connor is a good wrestler, but against a really good Ironman, I think Ironman would handle him pretty easily.
I think O'Connor might have been a little bit overrated based on the run he had.
That's true too. Well, he was injured and he came back and he was doing all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was fine. I think.
Yeah, injuries get you. You never really know what could have been at that point.
Right. Yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see him at NCAA's this year.
Honestly, after you get past the top 3 at 149, anything can happen.
Yeah, Mahler's good. I know Ben Askren is a big fan of him.
Yeah, Brock Mahler is definitely up there. He also did lose to an unranked dude, I think.
Yeah, Brayton Lee's good. He takes he comes out swinging. You know what I mean? He's lost everybody in the top 5, but he's beaten a bunch of them too.
Yeah.
And Jarrett Deegan, I feel like he should be better than he is.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him from
Well,
Iowa State.
he just like gets taken down. I don't
He was honest. He was actually my pick to go second.
I
'Cause he almost pinned Pat Lugo.
I've always been a fan of him, and actually in my preseason rankings, I picked him to win. But like, I don't know that he would have won this year, unfortunately.
He beat Lugo in that match. He didn't win the match, but I think he beat him.
There were some questionable calls because
He
I was
was
watching.
locking hands. It was locking hands, but I don't think it should have been called. And that's
Yeah, there was. I can't remember
yeah,
the specifics of that match, but I remember thinking that Deegan should have won that.
yeah.
But he's good. Murin's
It was like
good.
some weird stall call stuff. Murin's at 141.
Yeah. Oh, is he? Oh, right. They have him listed. Flo
Yeah,
has him
this is where
listed.
he's listed right now.
Right. They don't know. Yeah, not that many other. There's a lot of like good but not great wrestlers. Like you can just kind of like if you were to tell me that Yaya Thomas finishes 8th or finishes 20th, I'd believe you.
Hmm.
But yes, that's 149.
Yeah. So we'll go 157. Who's a starter? Andrew Marola, right?
I think so. Yeah, 157 is another odd weight where they don't really have
Oh,
any.
this guy was absolutely filthy in high school.
He was. He
At
was.
Blair, yeah.
I just mean like he in terms of like a big name or like a giant recruit coming in. They don't have anybody, but it could definitely be Andrew Marola. Let me just pull
Yeah,
up the roster right quick.
pretty easily.
Um,
But
oh,
157's.
I forgot. There's the one guy that could give him trouble is Colton Yapujian.
Yeah.
Andrew Marola is good. I think they had Colton Yapujian starting last year.
Oh no, I'm looking at this guy's picture. I just.
Yeah. Yapujian got hurt.
Uh-huh.
He lost like 2-0 to Hidlay. So he wrestled him tough, but he got hurt. He was out the whole year.
Hardly doesn't score like that though.
Right. So he's good, but he's a
Yeah.
young kid.
Hmm.
So Yapujian, like we haven't seen him like he
Yeah.
got hurt. We don't know what he's like. So it could be a weight where Andrew Marola gets in definitely.
Yeah. But 157's Deacon's weight class.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we could see Deacon moving up to 165 though.
I've heard that floated, and I think it could happen because he's like a tall guy. He's probably
He's massive.
and he's jacked. So you have to
Towered
wonder if
over James Green.
yeah. What's that?
He towered over James Green.
Oh
And I
yeah.
think he's a huge sleeper pick. Like he could, I think he could knock off Jordan Burroughs or Imar or Kyle Dake even.
He's really good. Well,
Yeah.
we haven't seen this version of him wrestle those guys because he was good.
He beat James Green.
Yeah, he was good the year before, but I think he got even better this year because he came back and he was ruining it. Like Hidlay couldn't touch him.
I thought he was a senior actually the year Nolf won. And I didn't even know because I knew he was good, but then you see Nolf just take it to him. But you're like, oh, it's Nolf. He did the same thing to Tyler Berger. But I kind of just gave up all hope on Ryan Deacon when he lost to Steve Blyce in the Big Ten quarterfinals or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, maybe he's not all that. And then I saw him beat James Green, and that's when I knew like he's gonna be insane.
Yeah. No, and he's proved it, man. He
Yeah.
looked untouchable this year.
Yeah. Another guy I see is Kendall Coleman from Purdue, the kid he wrestled in the Big Ten finals. I think that guy can beat Hayden Hidley.
So they currently Flo has him ranked at number 7,
Yeah.
but like last year was Coleman's freshman year. Like he's gonna get better, I think.
He showed a lot better too. He lost what did he lose 7-4, 7-5?
It was close. He wrestled them tough.
And you know what the score was the first time they wrestled? 14-0.
He's a guy. He's improving, and I know that.
I don't think he ever beats Deacon though. That's the thing.
No. So the way that they have it, the Flo has it ranked is they have Deacon 1, Hidley 2. They have David Carr at 3, and Carr's really good.
I agree with that.
I think so. They have Jesse Delavecchia, Josh Humphreys, Quincy Monday, and then Kendall Coleman. And I think you could see Coleman like.
What about Ja'Cory Teamer?
Ja'Cory Teamer they have at 11, which is
I think he's a big sleeper. I know Josh Humphreys and Jesse Delavecchia are 2 established kids, but I think the weight class basically just went past them.
That's what I'm thinking. The thing with there's a lot of good guys, but I think like a Kendall Coleman type, like there's a lot Quincy Monday. They're guys that are really high upside, and I think
Humphreys has been near the top like every year.
Right.
Maybe he can put together an All-American run, and maybe Delavecchia would be insane to see a rider dude. Maybe he plays top 5 or something like that.
Yeah, that would be good for the school.
Yeah, like a lot of my friends, two of the heavyweights that I know, like personally, like they just committed to Ryder.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
So you got talent coming in.
yeah,
Good to hear. Um, but yeah, that's probably just like a hold down the fort, try to qualify for NCAA's,
yeah.
wait for Cornell, um, and that kind of thing.
Like I think if Cornell, they're good guys, just take care of business, and like their guys are just like just thrown in there, just be tough. They all make nationals and win a match,
Hmm. I,
and
I
then because like you're not winning a tournament without upsets going down somewhere. Like you don't even have to make the upsets. Like you know what I'm saying? Like if DeSanto loses, so if Spencer Lee goes down as the one seed, he loses in the finals. You just saved a bunch of points there.
absolutely.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who he loses to at that point.
The only other guys at 157, so you have Andrew Marola, you got Colton Yapujian.
Yeah.
There are two guys coming in this year. So there's Gage McClenahan,
Hmm.
who Pennsylvania kid. He's ranked 93rd on the Flo's big board for the
Yeah.
year, but he looked pretty good towards the end of it.
Yeah.
And then there's a guy I really like who's Cole Handlovich. Um, he's 150.
They're not listed on the roster, so I can't really see that.
Yeah. He's number 37 on the big board right now.
Yeah.
But he was taking out people. He looked really good. He might be a guy that they gray shirt again, so we don't know
Yeah.
if we'll see them. But it could be something where Rob Cole's like, maybe we go for the higher upside guy, throw in the
Yeah.
kid early.
Maybe he wins. Like maybe he goes 2-1.
Exactly, that kind of thing. You need points wherever you can get them.
Yeah. No, he's 2-2, not 2-1.
Right.
But like it's Deacon's weight class. He owns it.
Yeah, nobody's gonna touch him. He's it's almost the next topic.
Yeah. Like I think he probably takes everybody out. Coleman showed me some good stuff. So I think Coleman versus Deacon is going to be the Big Ten finals and the national finals. I don't think Highlight can put together, honestly.
You can tell if you were to say Deacon versus any of like the next four guys, I believe you.
Yeah. The same thing with the 184.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like I was looking at that weight class and I was like,
it was the Heat's weight class, and then you know what happened there.
I was looking at it. I'm like, I think Aaron Brooks could like win the national tournament. And I'm like, am I really thinking this? Like Aaron Brooks.
He was my pick also.
Right. And I ended up
with Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
You have Mark Hall one way. You have Shaq. Penn State's upper weights are going to be insane for years to come.
Yeah, they got Carter.
Because think about that.
I forget what weight he is, but Michael Beard's coming in. He's good.
But I think Michael Beard's a big sleeper. I don't know how he performed. I said the same thing about Seth Nevels, and then it didn't turn out the way everybody thought it would.
Right. Yeah. No. Penn State. They always find a way. They're a points factory.
Big upsets. Because like Chen's over Marinelli wasn't considered an upset, but like everybody knew it was an upset.
Right. Yeah, Marinelli had his number. The who was it?
When Hall just kind of fell off that match, but he redeemed himself, so that's really all that matters.
Even Kassar, wasn't he like unranked or something on the big board coming in? Like he was off the radar.
Kassar was only one-time state champ. Yeah,
and they had him down at 197, I think.
Yeah.
And then he bumped up, and then
he bumped up coming into his technically it was a sophomore year.
I think so. Yeah.
It's really weird. Honestly, Kassar could have been a four-timer. He gets a starting spot at 197. He already beat Colin Moore. I think if Anthony Kassar were to, I think he takes out. Anthony Kassar loses to Kyle Cornell, hands down.
I think so.
I think anybody going up right with Anthony Kassar will take him out too, just like Colin Moore. You can't really say that. But if Anthony Kassar gets put on the opposite side of the bracket, he wrestles Mike Machiavelli, he beats him.
Right, absolutely.
It's a great matchup for him. He's going to body. He's going to try to push forward. Kassar's going to shoot that quick. What did he didn't even have a blast double then because he wasn't.
No.
He would hit like a hard lefty sweep single. That's why Kassar versus Colin Moore was just a weird matchup because they're both lefties too.
Exactly. Yeah, I just wish we saw more of the guy. I mean, he got hurt. It's unfortunate because he was really, really talented.
I think Anthony Kassar versus Ben Darmstadt would be at 97.
That would be really interesting.
That's a very interesting matchup.
What are we we got through. 65 is the
We're
next.
going to 65, yeah. So Adam Santoro, right?
We're working our way up to Ben Darmstadt. I'm
Yeah.
excited to talk about him.
I'm sure
Yeah,
it's
so
gonna go good.
Adam Santoro is the guy that we ran out this year. He basically like he wins some, he's gonna lose some. He's solid,
So he's like a 500 kid.
something like that. Yeah, probably like he might if he has a good EIWAs qualify for NCAA's.
How many bids do they have per weight, or does it change?
I think it changes
Okay,
based.
yeah. I wasn't sure if the Big Ten was the only one because like it's so crazy there.
No. The we did not have somebody qualify from at 165 this year. The one kid that we have coming in is Julian Ramirez.
From Blair Academy, he was the one I'm talking about. I think he gets the spot.
Yeah, and I think we don't really know who's going to come in. Like Adam
Is he
Santoro,
is he a true freshman? Can he still redshirt? Or did he already do that
he gray shirted.
already? Because he's in the same class as Foca. Yeah. Because I remember Chris Foca pinned him in the huge.
Yeah,
Ramirez was up. He like flipped him over a whizzer and pinned Ramirez.
at the tournament, I forget which one it was. It was like an open where Chris Foca beat the kid from. It was like Jay Grello, I think, from Rutgers.
Joe Grello. Yeah, Joe Grello's not all that.
Yeah, at that tournament, Julian Ramirez was in that one. So yeah, I think they're the same class. So he's coming in this
So
year.
yeah, because I wasn't sure what weight class he was going. I honestly thought
We don't know.
I actually forgot about Max Demo going about this, and I was thinking Ramirez was gonna go 74, Foca 84. But I'm like, they gotta make the cut now because of
Yeah,
Dean.
we don't really know. The way that I would look at it is I think Julian Ramirez gets the spot. The
Yeah,
thing is, like, Foca, I think, is going to be a 174. Dean is 184. Darmstadt, 197. Fernandez, heavyweight. So I think, like,
I think Ramirez gets an All American too.
and I think Ramirez has to start at 165.
Mhm.
He's a little streaky sometimes. Like, at the open tournaments, he'd either do really well or he'd go, like, 1-2 or something.
Yeah,
But he's very, very
yeah, but consistency comes with time.
That's
You
what I'm
got to
saying.
learn how to wrestle people with all different styles.
Learn
It's not like you're number one kid in the country anymore. Like,
Exactly. And I think they're going to get him in the room more. And I think, yeah, he's very talented.
and
So,
what I think the craziest part about these upweights are they all practice with each other throughout high school. Also,
yeah,
they already have the bond. Because Fernandez was like a 95 when he's practicing with them. Jacob Cardenas we didn't even talk about.
Oh, Jacob Cardenas. Yeah, no, he's talented.
Number one national ranked kid. I think he was better than Ferrari, but he got bested in that match.
Right.
But
Yeah,
he's still a very dominant kid.
absolutely.
Two-time New Jersey State champ. Foco only won once, so
That's
I'm
true.
not sure where Ramirez was. I'm pretty sure it's a national prep champ though.
I think, I'm a little rusty on some of the high school accolades, but he's definitely came in very highly touted.
165 is basically owned by all New Jersey kids and Alex Marinelli and Evan Wick. The way I had it playing out was Mekhi Lewis first, Shane Griffith second, Alex Marinelli third, and Evan Wick fourth. I want Evan Wick to be Alex Marinelli. I'm just not a Marinelli fan. Like, it's nothing against him. I just love Evan Wick because he's like, again, I told you, like, I love right on top, and Evan Wick's an amazing top rider.
I was always a top
But
guy.
he's good enough. Like, he doesn't gas himself out on top. Like, that's the smart thing about him.
I've saw a couple of those, and I do like the one thing I really like about. I listen to the Flow podcast,
Yeah.
and Ben Askren, he loves all the Wisconsin dudes. So
Yeah.
he'll just gas them up. So what was good, I think, for Evan Wick is that Askren was like, hey, this dude's a really good top rider. So I think that was good for him.
And Alex Marinelli is not the greatest on bottom.
No. Well, so first of all, I'm not a big, like, I'm going to be rooting against Iowa next year, obviously.
I'm not a huge Iowa fan, but, like, there's a couple guys I do like to see. Like, Marinelli, like, I don't like Marinelli, but he makes, like, he can go big very easily. Michael Kemmerer, I like. Of course, Tony Cassiope.
Oh, absolutely.
Essentially, the whole blocking thing, I don't really know.
The thing I like about Marinelli is I like the fact that Vincenzo Joseph had, like, this Achilles heel.
Mhm.
So I like kind of the storyline about, like, the Vincenzo Marinelli thing.
Yeah.
But Marinelli, like, he
had no respect for him that match.
He gets taken out by other people. Like, he owns Chenzo. But, yeah, I agree with you. I think Marinelli's going to get knocked off before the finals.
I just think he went into that match without any respect for Chenzo, and then he got lat dropped.
I think so. I agree.
Second match, he kind of straightened his mind. He's like, okay. He's like, it's not even like he got thrown. He basically set himself up to get thrown.
That was that the one in was that the Carver one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
He
was
beat
rough.
him on a leg attack the second time.
It was
All
nuts.
over the place.
Dude, the second period of that match was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Because I think it was
I hoped I wanted him so bad to pin him with that lat drop.
they didn't give any. Did they give him points? There was one throw where they. Oh, or it was just I forget what happened, but I just
Oh,
remember
he didn't
being
get back points. He just belly down Chenzo out of that. Yeah.
Marinelli was trying to trip him, and then he just let Chenzo take him out, and I was
He
like,
was tripping with the wrong foot too. It's like
it was just
he
something.
had no leverage on it. He just tried to like bear hug over him. Like
Yeah, I was watching it live, and then I watched the replay a bunch of times. But yeah, you got him on a leg attack of all things, which is a fitting way to end a match between two upper body, throwers.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like he wasn't expecting it too, so I mean, it worked.
one sleeper at the weight is Logan Massa.
Oh yeah, he's really good. I think he takes. No, he's at 174.
Well, they have him listed at 165 right now. They basically don't know where he's going to go because
he's going. I was told 74, and the miles of mean 184. Because I think that's the best weight.
That's the thing.
But,
I think it depends on where Amin wants to go.
Did you what's that match? Did you see I know Massa beat Alex Marinelli to make the Big Ten finals that one year.
Yep.
But did you ever see David McFadden versus Alex Marinelli, where he splayed and pinned Marinelli?
Yeah, I've seen that one.
That was my favorite match.
That 165, like I never looked at it and I was like, oh, I'm really excited for this weight, but there's been like a ton of drama.
It's like you had guys like Chenzo that was always like you can go to overtime with him, but it's not close, right?
Exactly.
A guy like Marinelli, he was theoretically supposed to buy his way into finals, but now you have guys like Mekhi Lewis who are going to score on you, and you have guys like Shane Griffith, who's going to. I think Shane Griffith versus Mekhi Lewis is going to be a great match. Mekhi takes it to him, just like he did in the state finals.
I could see it. I think
Ramirez is going to go. If Massa's not in the weight class, I think Ramirez takes fifth. Solid.
I could see it. I'll be rooting for that. I think definitely would be a top 25 guy. Massa, he looks really good in freestyle this year.
Yeah.
So I think he might have learned some tricks from that.
Yeah. But I think he goes 74, so I'm just gonna go with it there.
Yeah, if he goes 74, he'll be good there too.
I have him. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Julian, he's good. If they go with Adam Santoro, he's good too.
Yeah.
But Cornell has options there.
You think Santoro's making nationals though, right?
I don't believe he did this year. There's a chance. Like if he has a good tournament, he's capable of it. But he'll take like some weird losses sometimes.
Yeah, his senior season, Yeah. Most guys just tough it out.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. So we'll go to 174.
Sounds good.
Who is the guy there?
It's hold on.
Nathan Thacker or Andrew?
Chris Foca. It should be.
Nathan Thacker. Oh, Chris Foca. My bad.
Yeah, he's coming in. I think they'll give him the spot.
But at 174, though, who's there?
Overall or for Cornell?
Just overall. You have Massa, Kemmerer.
Yeah, right now Flo has Kemmerer 1, Miles Amin coming back from his Olympic red shirt, Mikey Labriola, Caleb Romero, Anthony Valencia, and Carter Starachi. And then you got like Colbray and Romero and some other guys scattered around there.
Yeah. Thing is, like, I might be hyping up Ramirez and Foca a little bit too much, but I don't know.
I think Ramirez is capable of it. He could take some losses. Like he's going to be a new kid coming in.
I just think the weight class is that wide open, but you also can't put it on a freshman thinking they're going to be as consistent to go chase that spot. He could very well, like, how Caden Jaffeller came in as a 6 seed and went 0-2. Like,
yep,
he could very well be that, and he could very well place fifth. The same with Chris. I think Chris Foca is like a blood round dude, honestly.
Yeah, so I will actually, on the Jaffeller note, he my friend had picked him to win the weight, and he got knocked out, and I was just laughing at him.
People having Caden Jaffeller, like, obviously I'm from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Anthony Ashnault wrestled in the same county as me.
Really?
Yeah.
I I guess
He was the first ever 4-time undefeated state champ, 170 wins. You know,
yeah,
so
New Jersey.
obviously I was going to be rooting for him.
That's a lit state. I'm not gonna lie. I
He,
guess.
I actually wrestled the team that he was an assistant coach for. So
Oh no.
I actually talked to him. Like he followed my page too, like a month before that, and he started talking. He's like, "I'm that guy." Yeah.
That must be awesome, man. The I guess the closest dude that I know that's good is probably like 20 minutes north of where I'm at. I'm not in Ithaca right now. I'm in Albany area.
Yeah. But New Jersey has like studs all over.
Yeah,
Like I've talked to half these heavyweight guys.
New York doesn't like they have a few elite guys like you got like the Yanni and the Greg.
Yeah.
But the closest guy right now is
Steve-O in New York too.
oh, was that?
Steve-O.
Yeah, Steve-O. That's what I was gonna say. Steve-O is like 20 minutes away from my house, so I could go watch him whenever I want to.
People are saying like he's a little bit overhyped, but I don't really. Like he got bodied by Figueroa. He got majored.
Figueroa was a lot stronger than him. Like if Steve-O can bulk up a little bit, he's gonna be filthy.
Figueroa's on like a new level though.
For sure. But yeah, who do you have 174? Who are you picking?
Winning?
Yeah. I think
If
Kemmer
Massa goes there or me, and I still have them winning. Whoever goes from Michigan at that weight.
I agree. Yeah. I think Miles Amin looked good, definitely in freestyle. Yeah, this is kind of.
I haven't followed them too much in freestyle, but like I've heard like they've been doing very good.
Yeah, he was an Olympian for like San Marino, or I forget where he wrestles for.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing with Chris.
I think it is San Marino.
Yeah, the point I was going to make about Chris Wilka is he is not a guy who's really that streaky. Like Ramirez, like could be really good. He could have a really rough year.
Wilka is consistent.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. He knows how to wrestle.
I just don't think he's at that point yet.
No, he's gonna.
Especially with I think Michael O'Malley's if they meet, he's gonna beat him. But O'Malley's not as good as him. You know what I'm saying? Like compared to other people, like when wrestling other people.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, everybody has those guys that like they have problems with.
Yeah.
But I think Foca's a gamer. He's a really, really tough kid, and I think he's gonna hold down the fort for a while. He'll have some All-American appearances.
I just don't think he's good enough yet. Like I love Chris Foca too.
Yeah. No, I mean he's taken out a couple guys. Like he's taken out solid D1 guys, and I think I'll be happy if he finishes in the blood round. But we'll see. It's tough predicting. Like not everybody's gonna come in like Sammy Sasso and kill everybody at the weight.
He wins a match though in nationals.
Yeah. I'd probably pick him. I think he'll finish like in the 10 to 15 range.
Yeah.
That's where I'd probably put him. But I'm a fan.
And as a redshirt freshman, that's not bad.
No, I'm a fan of the kid. He's going to be good for
basically
a while.
Win as many matches as possible just to get the team score up.
Absolutely.
And he's not a big bonus point dude either. That's kind of the problem.
No, he's not like Bo's kind of like trying to pin people and all this stuff. Like Foca's going to come in, wrestle people tough. I like him a lot.
But he wins consistently. That's the best part about it.
Absolutely.
So 184, Max Dean.
Yeah, he's coming in ranked number one.
It's turned out a bunch of different ways, Like 184 got blasted and just weird that year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I think Drew Foster won, and he was like the 11 seed.
Yeah, he was 6.
Oh, was it the 6 seed?
Yeah. Chip Ness was the 15 seed who knocked off Shakur Rashid.
Okay, that's who it was. Yeah, there were crazy weights where it was like there were people all over the seeding rank that were in the quarterfinals.
Mm-hmm. Another thing, now, I think
there's a lot of this is a sneakily good weight.
This should be Brooks's weight class the way like you're gonna see from the outside, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think everybody's sleeping on Cameron Caffey from Michigan State, who could very well come out and beat Aaron Brooks.
Cameron Caffey is like one of the best upper weight scramblers.
He's sneaky. People are like Brooks's athleticism is exceptional. He moves like Caffey moves like an RBY at 184.
Absolutely.
But the only thing is technique wise, Brooks is far superior.
I think so too. It's tough because you have a lot of guys. So, like, you have Trent Hidlay.
Yeah.
We never got to see him at NCAAs.
Thing is, like, after – I think Brooks is, like – he hasn't pulled the Zahid separation, but he's basically separated himself a little bit above the pack. Cameron Caffey's a pure wild card. He could be like a 1 year wonder like Kyle Cannell. Granted, Cannell got injured, but we're gonna say that. But if you see with Caffey, he was riding an insane hot streak into that point. You know.
Right. Yeah, I think it this way. There's a
I
lot of.
think another guy people are sleeping on is Jelani Embry from Michigan.
He's good too.
Yeah, he's like 20 something. I was looking at internet. I wasn't looking at flow, so I really don't know.
Oh yeah, no worries, no worries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out where he is, but I remember him. He's definitely a guy to keep an eye on.
Yeah. Insanely athletic too. I think 184, like same with the 182 in high school, or weight classes won by exceptional athletes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Same thing with heavyweight too, because like you have like these random running backs in football for like NFL size, which is like 240, and they're just like dominating.
Right.
But like 182 is like the lean, athletic, insane guys.
Absolutely, and I think that's part of the reason why Darmstadt was struggling at 184.
Yeah.
But
I
right
just,
now, yeah, they're going to run Max Dean back.
Mhm.
It's tough because Brooks. I forget if Max Dean he lost to one of the Brooks brothers. I forget if it was Sammy Brooks or Aaron Brooks.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna pick Dean to win the weight. He has a lot of experience coming in.
Yeah.
He's a tough wrestler. I don't think he's like he's not as talented as Aaron Brooks is. Like I think Brooks is like a really special wrestler.
But again, the Cornell wrestling room, like they're all with each other. Like the Penn State wrestling room is insane too.
Exactly. So, and Max Dean is a little more experienced. He's a really hard worker.
Yeah.
He's going to be
especially having his own brother as a coach and Kyle Dake.
That's what I'm saying. He's got Kyle Dake around his weight. He's got Gabe Dean.
Yeah.
I think he'll finish top 4. I think.
Yeah.
Definitely.
He places top 3 no matter what, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm gonna have Brooks win in the weight class, but
I could see it. Yeah. Max is one of the guys that Cornell needs to have placed in the top 3 if they're going to try to win a title.
No, Dean needs to win it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Dean needs to win it, and he needs to win it, and Vito needs to place top 3. And those are guaranteed guys.
Yeah.
And Darmstadt needs to make a final.
Or they need to have like a massive collapse from Iowa and Penn State.
Yeah. And that's very possible because you have insane talented guys.
Exactly. Yeah.
But some of the other guys like 184 and they'll be speaking about. You said Trent Hidley,
Louis
Dupre from Binghamton.
Yeah, Dupre. I actually saw him. I saw him wrestle. He's very good.
He's very good. He beat Trent Hidley too.
Yeah, and Hunter Bullen too, who I actually don't know that much about the kid.
I think like he's straight gas, honestly.
Okay.
He's good and he's up there. I just think that like he put them all in a bracket. He's gonna be like that Marinelli type dude. Just like he might just fall to nobody.
I don't know. He's a junior, but I honestly, if you were telling me who was Hunter Bullen, I wouldn't be like I wasn't like, oh yeah, he made the finals this year or he did that. So yeah, I think
like when I'm watching, if you do something to catch my attention, like I'll be gassing you up to like other people.
Exactly.
And stuff like.
And I would like to actually mention too, Cornell, like the upper weight situation is pretty tight. Like I think it's Dean, Darmstadt, Fernandez locked in, but Jonathan Lowe is he started last year, and him and Darmstadt were alternating weights. He probably won't start the year because you have Max Dean coming back to take his spot.
I think he with Darmstadt was basically just because like the whole weight cutting scenario.
Exactly. Yeah. Rob Cole was like, we're not putting Darmstadt. Like he's a good top rider.
Yeah. I don't agree. Like it still doesn't make sense to me like why they did that to him. Because that could have caused like permanent damage on his body too.
Yeah, it's just weird because you had Max Dean coming back, so there was no reason to even try him down there, and he wasn't doing well because those guys are like more like Darmstadt is kind of he's a top rider. Some of these like takedown artists at 184 he struggled with.
He can pull like some insane takedowns too.
Yeah, so Jonathan Lowe is good if Dean or Darmstadt get hurt, and Darmstadt is somewhat injury prone.
And especially at 197.
Exactly.
Where, like, you guys, like, if Noah Adams is your number 1 ranked guy, like, and you've seen, and a lot of these guys are susceptible on bottom too, right? Noah Adams, Pat Brook, he got pinned by Bo Nickel. It's not like he got caught in Bo's funk. He got manhandled with the cradle and pin.
Yeah, and there aren't a ton of like really exceptional like top riders
Yeah.
at 197. So some of these
You
guys
might see Pat Brookie at heavyweight, like you don't know.
exactly. Yeah, so I think
I doubt it, but
it'll be Darmstadt for Cornell. Jonathan Lowe's really good. He actually picked up a wild card spot, so he was an NCAA
yeah,
qualifier. Very talented kid. He's just going to be like a casualty of the fact that Cornell is stacked.
yeah,
So
of course.
he's good enough to
Uh,
top 20
yeah,
guy.
same thing with Brendan Furman.
Yep, yeah. Brendan Furman. He qualified for EIWAs too.
Yeah,
And Fernandez is. I think Fernandez is the better of the two.
Fernandez can probably tag him pin.
But yeah, I guess
Furman lost to Gary Traub. I remember that too.
if we're moving to 197, yeah,
197. Like if you look at the weight, you have
I can't tell you who's going to win this. There,
okay. So my take is gonna be very interesting on this. I have Cordell Norfleet from Arizona State.
I could see it. He
He had
wrestled.
a very close match with Colin Moore. He took him down 3 times.
Yeah, he wrestled. He
But
almost
the
more.
one thing that is gonna be very interesting about this is he didn't take down Colin Moore a single time from his own attack. It was always 3 attacks. With a guy as funky as Ben Darmstadt, Darmstadt could straight up come out and pin him.
Yeah,
Or
the thing with Darmstadt, right, is he's a fantastic wrestler. I always he's a guy that you never like you're always worried that he's not going to be able to win like 5 matches in a row at NCAAs or 4 matches because he'll take these weird losses. So he lost to Brandon Whitman. The thing about his style, right, is he
yeah, I
actually
don't think his losses at I don't think any of his losses at 184 you
sure,
can
sure.
really count against him. Like if
But
he
even
loses at 97, that's on him.
right, even at 197, like we saw him, murder Pat Brucky, who's a really good wrestler. But the thing with Darmstadt is he's a scrambler. Like he likes to, he's a very funky. He likes to
Yeah,
work
like
through
he'll
his
take risks with it.
and sometimes like he'll get pinned because of that.
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful with him, and he's always on upset watch.
Mm-hmm.
But he has like the most advanced turns and ability.
Yeah.
Basically, he looks like he's actually like doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu when he's on top.
Yeah.
He'll like cling and throw like heels in,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll take the back the same way that a BJJ kid would.
Yeah.
And he's really hard to get off of you. Like you can
I
stand
don't
up.
know. I really think like when coming in as a freshman, you're 6'5". He had the perfect frame to become a heavyweight.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
don't know why they didn't make him one. Great that he would have had to make the cut down 95 because I don't think Darmstadt would beat Fernandez at heavyweight. But granted, Fernandez also didn't have all this hype. You know what I'm saying? Going to senior year. And then he proceeded to pin everybody in the state senior year.
I agree.
In the first period, too.
Yeah, I think Darmstadt, you could quibble about like where you put him and stuff, but I think he's fit in all right at 197.
Yeah.
I'm picking him. I know Ben Askren loves him. Christian Piles loves him. I'm a fan. I love watching the kid wrestle.
I like Ben Darmstadt also. But the thing with, if you put him against Cordell Norfleet, there's 2 possibilities. Ben Darmstadt catches and pins him in something, or Norfleet lays an absolute whooping on him.
Yeah, so if you look at if Darmstadt were to wrestle, like he does not do well against guys that are really good at getting takedowns, that have this sort of like high gas tank.
And Norfleet's favorite attack is just like freight train double. You can't scramble out of that.
I know it was down at 184, but he wrestled Trent Hidlay, and basically that match was him getting taken down, like he got bowled over.
Yeah.
And I know it's a little different at 197.
Yeah, Hidlay's a tank too.
He has problems with guys that can like double leg you and that kind of thing.
So and Norfleet's that guy.
Yeah, so he like if we like the Brookie match, he beat him 11-4, and he was looking for pins like the whole match, like he wasn't threatened at all.
Yeah.
But if you get a guy, if like Darmstadt can't get on top, or if he's on bottom, or if he's getting taken down, the match could go very badly for him.
It might have been just me, but like I think Brookie looked like he was cutting a lot. Because Brookie's a huge dude.
Oh yeah, his biceps are like tree trunks. That guy, he's big.
I think he might just be stayed 9'7". So when he gets to like the whole international scene, he goes up to 213. That seems like it's the perfect weight for him. He's cutting from like 230, more of like a Kyle Snyder type build. A little bit. He's bigger than Snyder actually, but
exactly. Yeah, I think
technique isn't up there.
I think he's staying down too because like he can be shredded at 197 and like really big.
I think he could be shredded at like 240, pull like a Derek White. But at
Yes.
heavyweight, it's too stacked at this point for him to really make a push.
Right. Right. But yeah, so if I'm picking, I'm probably I'm gonna pick Darmstadt coming in.
But
'Cause
also they have what's his name? So for Ohio State, Gary Chaw pretty much has a spot. They
yes,
had Tate Orndorff transfer from Utah Valley to Ohio State, which is a big thing. I still think Gary Chaw's going to get the spot. But they had Chase Singletary, the old heavyweight. He's making the cut to 97.
I was a fan of that guy. I enjoy watching Chase Singletary wrestle.
But
Um,
the good thing about Chase Singletary is I don't think the cut from like 230, like he wasn't like a Kassar 230. He was a little bit chubby. He was just chilling. He never really cared about weight. Insanely strong kid, doesn't look like it though.
right.
If he cuts to 97, I don't think the conditioning at all is going to be an issue. I don't think he's going to be really too sucked out, and I think he can be a straight threat to win this national title. And he's extreme technical. I don't think you can really scramble with him like Darmstadt does, but I still think Darmstadt probably beats him.
Yeah, I like Chase Singletary a lot. It pains me because I really like if I had to pick a team to root against the most, it's Ohio State.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm a fan of Chase Singletary. I think at 197, I'm gonna roll with Ben Darmstadt, but there's a lot of very talented people at the weight.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jonathan Lowe is a good backup too because Darmstadt does tend to get hurt. So
Cornell
Cornell,
Fleet's my pick at 97. It's just because I've seen a lot of things from him. Like if like same thing at 57. Like if Ryan Deacon didn't exist, Kendall Coleman's my pick.
right.
It's not like there's just something about him, you know.
Right.
Like, I like taking risky picks. People don't agree with it a lot because they like to go just safe options.
No, I mean, hey, you're making picks. Like
The most upsets that happen, I've called them.
exactly. Yeah. Well, my problem though is I kept picking Seabass to beat Spencer Lee at 125, and it never happened. I picked Seabass, and I was like, all right, I'm done. And then he bumped up.
You know what I had happened in that bracket? I had Piccinini beating Spencer Lee again. That was just a bold choice. And I had Ronnie Bresser from Oregon State making out the bottom half.
Is Bresser? Is he the guy with like all the crazy tattoos?
Yeah, and like the orange hair, I think.
Yeah.
He actually went to overtime with Sebastian Rivera.
Yeah, he was always.
Then he ended up losing in the quarterfinals. So
yeah, he
my
was.
whole bracket went to crap.
Yeah.
I actually had I had Lezak beating Stefan Micic too that year.
Interesting. Yeah. No. Listen, if you're not gonna pick some fun upsets, like what are you doing? Like have fun with it.
But then when it doesn't happen, people just come at you like, "Oh, it's terrible." Yeah.
No, you came out swinging. I mean, of course you can pick Dayton Fix to win, but isn't it a little bit more fun to pick RBY to knock him off?
Yeah. I don't think that happens, but
no, I'm just saying it would be fun if it does, and if it does happen, you look like a
RBY could very well have a breakout year and just come out and win a national title. Like,
oh, absolutely,
he's capable to take it. I think Stefan Micic handles RBY. So yeah, we'll go to heavyweight now. This is honestly they have 4 guys who could go above 500.
Right.
I don't know about Drew Flynn though.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent here. I mean,
I didn't even know that Drew Flynn was wrestling in college, honestly, until like right now.
Yeah, well, what happens is a lot of these guys are really good, and then if you go to a good school, you kind of get buried on the depth chart.
So what happened with Drew Flynn is, so I made a bracket my sophomore year which is when he was a senior, right?
Yes.
So I'm looking at all these guys. Drew Flynn pulled the 1 seed, definitely should not have, right? I made a bracket, so Fernandez was a 6 seed. I had Fernandez making the finals and another kid named Cody Wood. I don't even think he wrestled in college. He was a state finalist.
Okay.
I had the 6 and 9 seed meeting in the finals. And they did, right? But I had the other kid winning a sudden victory, and Fernandez pinned him with the chin whip.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Fernandez's junior year, right?
I'm pretty
Glenn ended up losing 5-0 to the kid that Fernandez pinned.
Interesting. Well, I guess
he got taken down. I think it was like a straight on single and just like riding him out. Like Flynn got beaten physically, not technique wise, by a kid who was like 220 pounds.
Okay.
So I think you put him at the college level with Fernandez. Fernandez pins him in the first period.
Probably does. Yeah.
He's obviously gotten a lot better, maybe a lot better, because the main difference you've seen between heavyweights in high school and college is their ability on bottom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fernandez has
100%.
the ability to get turns and not just pin people. Like a guy like Adam Kuhn was just as dominant on top as Fernandez is, but Kuhn was a pinner. Kuhn doesn't have turns like that.
Right.
Fernandez has the double legs, rip him and suck back, right?
He is he's gonna be one of the fun heavyweights.
Yeah.
I know people like to people are like, oh, heavyweight isn't like I like heavyweight.
And he's like heavyweights that are willing to get stuck under a sprawl and having confidence that they can finish are guys that are gonna do insanely good. And that's what Fernandez can do. I remember he was wrestling the number 2 kid in the state. People were like, oh, this is the one kid that's gonna give Fernandez a fight. Fernandez says no and just texts him for fun. Just to prove that he can score points. He dove right in on the leg. The dude looked like he had dead to rights. This dude's like 5'10". He wrestles at Limestone College, some D3 school, but he was pretty good. He has him sprawled dead to rights. Fernandez just casually stands up, doesn't even circle out with it, just pulls the leg in and sits him.
Filthy.
And this is an insanely strong kid, probably squats like 600, 700 pounds, like insanely large legs, right? So, and like Fernandez has hit that suck back like on D1 kids. It's not like it only worked in high school with kids that like.
I'll keep an eye out for it. I haven't seen that much tape on him.
The thing about Flynn, about I don't like is it's not like he lost in the quarterfinals to that kid, and he appreciated the Brussels back in place third. He ended up getting handled in the consolation semifinals.
Okay. I know sometimes people are demoralized and stuff after they lose, but you always want to see people battle back.
Yeah, like that's what happened to me. Like I lost in the county semifinals to a kid who's ranked 4th in the state. I lost 3-0. I was wrestling the best tournament of my life. That was the best match I've ever wrestled, right? It was 1-0. I didn't pick bottom because the kid's the best top right in the state. Rides legs also, right? It would stuck me like 20 seconds into the period. I go to my next match. I'm just like, I'm winning 2-0, and I get hit with a crappy lat drop and pin.
It happens.
It's like you're mentally getting to you, so you can't really go about that. But with Flynn, I think everybody knew that he didn't deserve the 1 seed.
Okay, I see how it is. Yeah.
Like he was the 5th best kid in the weight class. I don't even think he was the 5th best because I think he has some better draws. I think he's probably the 6th or 7th best kid in the weight class. But he also looked like a kid who cared a lot more about football than wrestling.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you got those types too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But I honestly thought he was playing football in college somewhere until I just saw this. Does Cornell have a football team?
They do, and there's a top 40 wrestler that they offered him scholarships for both football and wrestling, so he actually might be on the football team. Not sure about that.
Yeah, actually, I'll just check this out right now. Because
Yeah.
if he is, then he's just
Cornell football roster. Yeah, the Cornell, they have 4 heavyweights. Probably Fernandez is going to start. But Brendan Furman
does not play football.
Oh, no, yeah, no, I didn't mean that, obviously.
You just say he doesn't like it.
Oh, my mind must be elsewhere. What I meant to say was Fernandez is probably going to get the starting spot for Cornell.
Yeah, of course. I don't think there's really any competition. And maybe Furman, but I doubt it. I think he majors. I think he texts Furman, honestly. Yeah, Fernandez, a guy, he has that suck back, but the main game changer in college with it rewards top rating, right? Because the 4-point near fall instead of 3.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a huge thing.
I'm not seeing Seth or hold on. Actually, never mind. I'll let you jump to that. But yeah, I think it's going to be Fernandez. Furman is good. He was, he qualified for NCAAs. He went into
no. By height, yeah, it was so by height. The shortest guy. What? Hold up. I gotta click go. Oops.
There we go. And
let's run through this.
No worries. Jonathan Fagan is pretty good too. They have him listed at 197. But
yeah, I've seen him wrestle a few times.
Yeah,
in high school.
He's solid. And who's the other guy? Seth Janney. I forgot about him. He was good. I think.
What is this? the, these linemen, dude.
I honestly can't
I
tell
mean,
you.
Ivy League, you know, how Ivy League schools just don't have great football teams.
Our football team sucks. It's bad. It's bad even for like the Ivy Leagues.
I hate to say it, like I'm not trying to be the racist dude, but like you know the guys that are super good don't really care about school.
That's true.
I'm not gonna say what I meant to say, but you know, you
Yeah,
know what I'm trying to tell you.
yeah, definitely. Um,
It's like same with me. Like, I never the greatest grade. Like, no, I don't think I see him.
yeah, I'm doing a quick search. I don't think he does. So I guess he must have given up the football dream to
Yeah,
wrestle, just wrestle. But
we got some tall dudes on this.
they do, yes.
No, actually, no, the tallest dude's only 6'6". This is like a D1 team.
Oh, they look big. I guess maybe they're not. I went to a homecoming and we got blown out by Yale, and I was like, I'm not gonna go to another football game.
Yale has a decent football team. I don't think Yale's requirements are that high.
Yeah, they it's weird. The They might not be. You're right. The
Because I know Cornell is like one of the easier Ivy League schools.
Yeah, it has the lowest. It's the hardest
Yeah,
one when you're actually in the school, like grade wise, because like all the Ivies like do grade inflation where they just try to give everybody A's,
yeah.
and Cornell like doesn't do that as much as the others do, but it's the easiest one to get into.
Because
But
money is a big thing too. Like
yeah,
in the Ivy League schools, like as far I'm not sure if that's true. Like that's just what I hear. You actually go to school, so like what I hear is like they basically just hand out scholarships to guys who are that good.
they do. Absolutely. Yeah, you're right.
That's right.
Yeah, no, that's accurate. The
And like
I'm
I get it. Like you want to get the good guys because they're self funded too, right?
I think so. I think you're right
Like a good amount at least.
for sure. Yeah, well, the schools themselves have like big endowments from
Yeah.
donor stuff, so they have like billions of dollars to play with. It's just up to what I think the NCAA might have some limits, but it's whatever the school limits themselves to for a certain sport.
Fernandez would have won most outstanding wrestler his senior year, but that was the year that Alvarez knocked off Rob Howard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's like the darn lightweight.
yeah, but like Alvarez deserves it, dude. Like being
Yeah,
a four-time state finalist, only winning it once,
that's fair.
that's crazy. Yeah,
That's fair.
I think JoJo Aragona won that year too
Okay.
for state title, but JoJo basically handled the dude in the finals. It wasn't like Howard, like those were two major Big Ten recruits going against each other in that weight.
Yeah, it's one of the ones where it's like you give. It's like you. It was when Kyle Dake and Taylor were in their
Because
bracket.
what's his name, Michael Koliako, who wrestles
Oh,
at 10. He
yeah.
was number one in the country. He wrestled for Blair. He ended up beating Rob Howard, knocking off Rob Howard from number one, and Howard was bumped down to number three, and he was number one. Howard ended up avenging that loss, getting number one ranking again. Alvarez was chilling like number 10, and he beat him.
I'm not gonna lie. New Jersey, they
Al-
have healthy
yeah.
wrestlers.
Alvarez ended up bumping up 2 weight classes his senior year too, just so he could get away from the one kid that he just could never beat.
Interesting.
Clark that's going to Princeton. Who's going to be very good too.
Huh.
Anthony Clark's a 3-time state champ.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is he wrestling D1?
Anthony Clark?
Yeah.
He's going to Princeton.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Because I've seen his name in the EIWA, like the roundups of the teams. I was pretty sure. Yeah.
Oh, Fernandez also holds the record for the fastest pin in the country. 3 seconds.
I remember that. The Flo did a write up of him.
There's no video on this, so that kind of sucks.
Unfortunately, yeah. Some of those high school tournaments, if somebody wasn't videoing, you don't get it. Unfortunately.
You just think like as a state champ, like they would have, you would want to get all your videos.
Absolutely. I guess for heavyweight overall, I'm probably picking Gable.
Yeah, of course. That's my pick also.
But I really kind of want to see Tony Cassiope. I know he's not going to win, but I want to see him do well. I like the guy.
I think Kirk really bodies Tony Cassiope, but the thing is, I think Paris has no technique whatsoever. I'm just gonna say that.
Yo,
And he obviously isn't gonna work technique that much as he's gonna work strength wrestling Adam Kuhn every day.
right.
I think if you give Tony Cassiope an extra year, he takes out Mason Paris.
I think
Because if you watch that match where he got pinned, of course he got put in the Turk, and Paris is the second strongest kid in the field now. He was the strongest last year.
right.
Squats like 700 pounds, all that.
He's
But
jacked.
once he got Cassiope on his back, nobody's getting off,
Yeah.
right? But the way he got taken down, like he got hit with a Russian spin.
It was a weird
But
sequence.
yeah, when he had him taken down, he just hit the spin on him, and then Cassiope has the leg in the air, and then just got like reverse ankle picked.
It's
Oh,
something like I don't know that it's going to happen again if they wrestle.
yeah, I highly doubt it too. People was like, "Oh, he just bodied him." Like, nobody really looks into the logistics of the match.
Yeah. Well, I
Because all
remember.
they care about, like, all that really matters is the final result. But like, that doesn't mean he's gonna pin him the next time. Like, he's
Right.
definitely not.
Right. I remember the announcers. I forget who was announcing the match but I was watching it, and they were like, "Oh, he's got a Turk." Like they were like shocked. They're like, "Oh, like he might pin him." Like it was kind of surprising.
I had Cassiope win that match going into it.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Mason Paris fan.
You know.
Like just the way he wrestles. I
Yeah.
think Kirk Fleet and Gable are they going to be the two most technically advanced kids because I don't think Paris will ever beat Gable Stevenson, and I don't think Tony Cassiope will ever beat Gable because that's just a mismatch, right? Kirk Fleet's another dude that's entering the field that I think is extremely technically advanced, right? Just the way he wrestles, he's very smart, very athletic. He's more like yeah, I can say that he's the most athletic in the weight class, right?
For sure.
Probably the second most conditioned. I'm gonna go with my boy Gary on that. Gary Traub, most conditioned, but
Yes, Gary.
yeah,
But
that's conditioning. I'm gonna say Kirk Fleet's in the best shape out of anybody,
I think so.
and he's insanely strong too. Which if you can put in, and he's just like again, he's a generational athlete. The fact that we got to see Gable Stevenson versus Kirk Fleet in high school was just insane.
Yeah. No,
But I think right now Gable's gonna beat him. I think if Gable's put on a lot of nice matches too. He just tweeted today he was 243 at Big Tens and he's 265. Maybe like 10 of that is fat. He's 255 next year. I don't know. Kirkley just looks like he's getting a lot stronger. He's putting on like lean mass every day. So I think Kirkley is like the one contender for Gable.
I could see it. He's talented.
Yeah.
Who are you going for the team race? Who are you picking to win the whole thing? It's tough. It could be Iowa, Cornell, and Michigan.
Iowa's probably gonna win. I have Michigan win. I like Michigan though. It's like I'm not a fan of a team, right? So I'm not gonna say that. But you can never count Penn State out.
Yeah. You never know if like Carter Strachey is just going to go on a rampage and come in third or something.
I do that. Like Zane Rutherford as a freshman knocked off Logan Stieber.
Logan almost he could have been a four-timer.
Logan was a four-timer.
Was he?
Yeah.
He was. Okay, never mind.
If Zane won that tournament, Zane would be a four-timer.
My mistake. Yes, I am completely backwards. It was because he went 3-1-1-1, right?
What do you mean?
Zane? I think because he lost to Stieber, but then he won every other one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it was. I
don't even know who he beat in the finals. I think they were like nobodies, though. The guys who he beat.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, Stieber was the big guy, and then he kind of was unchallenged.
Yeah.
But, all right. That's about all I had in mind.
You want to go over like coaching a little bit, or?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Let's do it.
You got it. Hold on. Yeah. So for Cornell, obviously, I mean, the two famous people are Rob Cole and Mike Gray.
Mm-hmm.
Rob Cole is he's a really, really, really good coach. He also there's a story going around that he tried to take Kyle Dake on in practice. He was like, we're going to show, he thought he was going to show Kyle Dake like how to wrestle. Mm-hmm. And of course, like Dake wrecked him.
Of course, yeah. I really don't know much about these coaches. So, I mean, you can probably just talk about what you want. We'll save Gabe Dean and Kyle Dake for the end though.
Sure. Yeah. Cole's good. He's experienced. He knows what he's doing. He's been building a winning program. He was a fantastic wrestler back in the day. He still apparently keeps up wrestling like pretty well. He rolls a lot. Mike Gray is one of the guys. He's an assistant coach. But if like a new program were to want to hire somebody as a head coach, he'd be in the running. Like he's a young guy. He's pretty much Yanni's like personal coach. A lot like Rob Cole is the head coach, but Mike Gray works a lot with Yanni. Like they're very, very close. So he
Yeah.
kind of handles a lot of Yanni's stuff.
Mhm.
And then it's always fun. Kyle Dake, every home duel, black suit, bright, crimson red Cornell tie. He's the one that's like standing up and yelling at the
Yeah.
people, across the mat. He's really competitive.
Yeah.
So he's
Seeing him freak out. What was it? When Max Dean knocked off Miles Martin, that was the most hype I've ever seen them.
yeah. Dake and Gabe Dean were like freaking out on the sideline. Dean
Like
is
my emotions going through that, I was just like, oh, damn.
yeah. I saw that match. I was mad hyped.
It's like Miles Martin shouldn't have lost that match. I just don't think he played aggressively enough in the beginning.
I
And
think so.
let it come down to a stupid move like that.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, like it was his year. Bo Nichols out of the weight class. Like everything was set for him to win too.
right. Yeah, I
Like
mean,
he's still a national. He still won a national title as a freshman.
yeah. No, he's
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Just he ran into a generational talent, and then he got knocked off in a crazy upset.
yeah.
But yes, the coaches. Rob Cole's a great coach. He's probably a top 5 head coach in the country. Like I don't know, you can't put him ahead of like Kale or John Smith, but he's in that next tier.
Yeah, like the way I would go about just saying coaches. I mean,
Um,
some people can argue John Smith or Tom Brands, but I'm going Kell number one. He's had the best college career, won an Olympic title. John Smith, maybe if you want to go the coaching ability, I'm putting Tom Brands second, then John Smith. I'm just not a big John Smith fan. He was an amazing wrestler. Don't get me wrong, but like as a coach, I don't know how I feel about that.
he gets crazy worked up. He'll like throwing bricks and yelling
Yeah.
at the refs and everything. He gets
I
very
don't like coaches that do that. I prefer coaches that are like just more laid back, relaxed, like Kale. Like the only time I've ever heard Kale yell is when it's absolutely necessary.
right
Like
now.
when Bo
Kale,
Nickel basically threw himself onto his back in the national final against Miles Martin, right?
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
Kale, he just chills with his white shirt and looks like a vulture or like a hawk ready to pounce on people.
yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Who else was there? A coach I really like is Brendan Eggum from Minnesota.
absolutely, yeah. He's been building a really good program out there.
Like I just like his approach to it. Like the team might not be all that, but like I love his approach to coaching. He's just like straightforward with it.
Yeah,
Like some guys I don't like I'm not the biggest fan of Terry Brands, their coaching style, but like they're amazing coaches. They done a good job with it. You have to give respect where it's due, right? The
absolutely.
same thing with John Smith. Like I don't like his whole style, like and all that, but like he's built an amazing team.
Got to respect them. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm still going Kale, man. Kale,
But
there's just the name
again,
Kale.
yeah, again, like a guy like Tom Ryan, like
Tom Ryan's a good coach too. I mean, I
I,
like
I like I like him better as a coach, but like you know, he's still not gonna be up there with Kale.
right,
So if you're going by my favorites, I'd put Kale, Brendan Eggum, Tom Ryan. We're gonna have to go with Scott Goodell from Rutgers.
nice.
Because
Yeah, I like Chris Pendleton too. I
yeah,
think where is he at Oregon State or?
yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna put Isaiah Martinez also.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they're gonna look good too.
I think some of these guys are like the national champs do a lot better as like coaches.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like
Well,
if you made me a coach, I would be a terrible coach. But like if you had me just coach the heavyweight, I would do amazing at it.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, what's gonna happen is people are gonna go like, I want to go where Imar is.
yeah,
So it's gonna help them recruiting.
yeah.
But
It's like Oregon State had their two best guys, Samar Desi, Ronnie Bresser. Now they're gone, and this was just a big move for them. Like you know what I'm saying? Like Campbell. Oh, Kerry Collette. That's who I was missing.
another legend.
Yeah, like he brought Campbell onto the scene. Like
Right.
that's just a huge thing for them.
Right.
So you want to start talking about Gabe Dean and Kyle Dake now?
Yeah, I don't have a ton to say about them. I mean, their resumes speak for themselves. Like
Yeah.
Gabe Dean, 2-time champ.
Yeah,
Been a 3-time champ if he hadn't run into young Bo Nickel,
yeah,
Buzzsaw. Even that was a tight match.
yeah.
But he's great. Everybody, he seems very invested. Everybody,
Especially
I don't know him personally, but
Mhm.
like he seems very popular. The team likes him, all that. Kyle Dake,
Especially being able to coach like your younger brother.
100%. So he's a great coach. Kyle Dake, I mean, you have to assume he's teaching everybody all these crazy defensive, like tactical tricks.
Actually, I've seen him coaching. Like he doesn't do much of that. Kyle Dick has like a great versatile offense. He just doesn't use it that much.
It's
But when he
interesting.
uses it, it's a takedown.
I have to step out for 1 sec. I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, yeah. My bad about that. Got
Yeah,
called
you're
away.
good. It's all good, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I was saying you were talking about Kyle Dake.
Yep. So
Uh,
I mean, like, if you ever seen Kyle Dake wrestle, what he's known for is the one move against Jordan Burroughs, that chest wrap.
yeah.
Of course, he's known for his crazy defensive skills. But if you ever see him when he does get on his offense, he knows he's well, not the most technical. He has the best wrestling IQ out of anybody I've ever seen. The way that like when he gets on a leg, he will score. Whether that's taking you down, getting a push out, or even he has some of the greatest transitions you can see. Like he'll act like he's about to take you out of bounds and just get the takedown at the edge, or act like he's trying to take you down, and you're trying to defend it so hard that you don't realize you're about to go out of bounds.
Well, it's funny about interesting. I should say not funny. Interesting is and I remember one of the Flow guys said this, but they said like Kyle Dake loses every hypothetical match he ever wrestles because if you're saying like who am I picking, like Jaden or somebody like you tend to pick against Dake
Mm-hmm.
because if you look at like the scores of the matches, it's like oh he beat this guy 4-2, David Taylor teched this guy,
Mm-hmm.
and then they go wrestle and then Dake beats you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's one of those things where he will game plan away his opponent's best move, and then he'll just shut you down and then score like 2 takedowns and win.
yeah.
Uh, he did that to Ringer.
Against Alex Derringer, he didn't even score a takedown. I don't think.
It was because we had never seen Dake do what he did, and he basically underhooked Ringer's left arm away from him.
Yeah,
So he couldn't use it to attack the whole match.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, that guy's a tactician.
Yeah,
It's great for the program having him.
yeah. It's insane the way he does it.
Yeah,
Of course, being a four-time national champ, one of the best college wrestlers to ever live.
exactly. Yeah, and I would say that the Cornell they have good coaching,
Yeah.
and it's pretty nuts because like Yanni took a red shirt this year,
Mm-hmm.
but at all the matches he's like trying to get the crowd whipped up to chant stalling against everybody. So he'll be like marching around like trying to get the crowd excited, and him and Nashon will be like goofing around.
Yeah, and Sean Garrett is amazing too.
Yeah, so they have like a really good bench presence from like the guys that aren't starting.
Yeah.
So they're pretty. It's a pretty good atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nashon, I love Nashon.
Yeah. So overall, we'll just sum everything up. Of course, Cornell is there. I have them. I'm going to be optimistic about this. Like I don't like Iowa. I think Cornell solidly places third. They very well could take the whole thing because I see what I see happening. I see Miles Amin if he goes 174 knocking off Michael Kemmer.
Sure.
Because the points are obviously worth a lot more in the finals, right?
Right.
I see Logan Massa beating Alex Marinelli wherever that is.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably going to be in a third, fourth match. Though, actually, that's a very interesting thing. But I think Marinelli does get knocked off a couple times, and he's supposed to be like the guy, right? They go to Spencer Lee. I think he's gonna win, but Glory or Fix could definitely beat him.
Absolutely.
No. That semifinal is gonna be a dog match. I think it's gonna be a semifinal. Tony Cassiope can be a guy that can get them some points if he can finesse a win over Mason Paris or Greg Kirkford. That would be huge. Jacob Warner is gonna have to at 197 is gonna have a huge bounce back year.
Yeah, he wasn't great this year. He took some losses.
I don't know what was up with him, but you know, at 184, Abe Assad.
Solid, but I don't see him making the semis.
Yeah, if he All Americans, that's huge.
Right.
Coming ranked 11th in a insanely deep 184 weight class. You know, who else really exists? Caleb Young.
Oh, Caleb Young
had a god awful season.
He took weird losses. Like he could like go with like some really good guys, and then all of a sudden he just lose to some scrub.
He just fell off bad. Like he was beating David. Like he lost to David Carr. David Carr might have just been better than but he was just bad. There's no way to explain it. It's like Cornell's season had so much hype coming into this year, and just like dreams just died. Like that's really all that happened. But like Cornell was injured. You can see that he would never be the same. It's just kind of tough to see that.
For sure.
Who else does Iowa have? Max Murin needs to put together a solid run and place third.
Man, that guy, he's talented, but he just it's always like, oh, he got hurt, or oh, where's he going to be in the lineup?
Yeah, no. Max Murin's been up there since last season. He's the most overlooked Iowa dude.
He's talented.
Yeah.
I think he could have made the semis.
Yeah.
At 140 because he was beating some kids.
Yeah. He was hands down number 3 in the country behind Pletcher and them. Maybe Tristan Moran was toss up, but no.
Moran's
especially he's better than DeSanto. DeSanto just gets all the hype, Spencer Lee is a crazy talent. At 149, you're gonna have Jay Nyerman. Jay Nyerman needs to win.
For sure.
Yes. Now let's go to Michigan. Mason Paris has to beat Tony Cassiope.
Yep.
That just goes either way. Those are huge rivalries. 97, I don't even know who they have. 84, you need to knock off the Iowa dudes. Because what knocking off the Iowa dudes will do is it's going to give Michigan the win over Iowa, and is also going to push Cornell up in the rankings.
Right.
So ultimately, I think Cornell could play second, but I don't think there's a shot that they're going to win. Unless, because Yanni's not a huge bonus point dude in folk style. So he gets to the finals and he wins, but I don't see how many bonus. He could very well lose to Nick Lee. Who knows? But I don't think he is. But I just think the guys that they have that are national title contenders are not going to be bonusing their way there.
Right. Well, the thing is, I think not like this upcoming year. I think in 2 years, Iowa's whole team is gone.
Yanni's senior year.
Yeah, and you're still going to have Vito. You're still going to have Darmstadt. You're still going to have Yanni.
I think Fernandez can win a national title that year.
Still going to have Max Dean. Like, that whole lineup is back. And Greg coming in, Fernandez a year.
Well, I'm going to say this. I think if you put this team in nationals next year, Fernandez scores the most team points. Fernandez is a pinner.
I agree. I think Darmstadt will get upset somewhere. Even if
Darmstadt, just say Darmstadt has a great tournament, I think Darmstadt's bound to put together a senior year,
Sure.
It's just going to be like an extra thing. Or he might be the guy, he legitimately gets upset, not caught and pinned, but maybe he gets too scared to hit stuff oh, I don't want to lose.
Right.
Yeah. It all depends. If he can keep his mind right, I think Darmstadt is very well going to win the bracket.
Right. Yeah, no, Fernandez is legit. I'm going to pick Cornell coming into it. I think, honestly,
Iowa's the heavy favorite.
The top 3, Iowa, Michigan, Cornell. Penn State is always lurking.
Yeah.
You never know. We don't know.
Penn State can knock off some of the Iowa guys pretty early, too.
Absolutely. I agree. A lot of it will come down to seed.
Yeah, Aaron Brooks takes out is better than Davis Side, so we're gonna have him play Snyder. Penn State heavyweight, you're pretty much screwed. Michael Beard can knock off Jacob Warner.
Beard is good.
Yeah, he's one of the most underrated because he's coming in. Nobody really knew about him last year. Because what I think they should have done last year is instead of taking Shakur Rashid, they should have put in Michael Beard. I think they
He probably would have scored more at NCAA's
yeah
because Shakur, he chokes in the postseason.
yeah of course.
Right.
It's just a couple of things that could have got Penn State to beat Iowa.
Right.
It's like Meredith was gonna get teched. Like he did his job, didn't get pinned.
Right. Right. Yeah.
RBY over DeSanto. That's an extra 3 points
Right.
because he forfeited instead of 386. Nick Lee had a tough match with Max Mirian, but he came out on top. 149. I think Lugo won.
Aaron? Yeah, the bald guy. I think he has diabetes. Aaron, yeah.
Yeah.
He's tough, but he's not on
Yeah.
Lugo's level.
Verclearen is a tough dude, hard to bonus. He did get pinned against Nebraska though. He got caught, but you can't really hold that against him.
Right.
157. I don't even know who they had. Penn State. Brady Berge.
Yeah, because he was hurt. He was in part of the year. They had somebody else coming in, and then he came in at the end of the year.
Yeah. Mason Manville is going to be on the lineup for Penn State.
Interesting.
I think Manville's a competitor too. Like people underestimate him. He's one of the toughest kids you'll ever see. Like he takes a Gary Child approach, tough hand fighter, gets in on his shots. He was actually a point away from beating Cameron Caffey at 184.
Tough, for sure.
But this is before Caffey was on the whole hot streak.
Right. I think the thing with Penn State is they have these solid guys like Carter Strachey.
The thing about Manville is Manville was a 157, but he was wrestling 65 because Chenzo was hurt, and they bumped him all the way up to 84, and he was able to stand with a ranked opponent.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think he could definitely be good for them.
Yeah.
But I think the interesting thing to keep in mind with Penn State is they have Bo Bartlett coming in soon. They have Robbie Howard. They have Alex Facundo.
All those guys are getting redshirted.
Yeah. No, I mean not for this next. In the future, they're going to be replenishing their stuff.
Yeah, because you saw them throw guys like Devin Schnupp and Brandon Meredith right out there. The reason they threw Meredith right out there is because they know Howard's coming in. Howard's going to be the guy they're going to redshirt because the same thing they did with Suriano, right?
Right, absolutely.
But they knew Suriano will be a national champ one day. I think Suriano, if he stayed with Penn State, like he came out with the reasons, like be closer to home. He just felt more comfortable in this environment. But I think if he stayed with Penn State, he beat Spencer Lee in the national finals.
One of the great what ifs.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, he did what he did. Obviously, it worked in his favor. Like,
right. No,
there's no shame losing Spencer Lee. It's Spencer Lee,
Yeah, and Suriano's got a title anyway. I mean,
yeah, of course.
I'm being honest, it was a headgear pull. I'm still upset about that, but
I don't think they're good. They already screwed Suriano over once with a call. It was hands in the face, but it's not like it didn't happen at any other point in the match.
Right.
It's like only dating fix is like enough of a thing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I got you. Yeah.
To be complaining over that. You're in the national final. The guy's in on the shot. What do you do? Grab your headgear and act like that happened because you got the call last time? It's not even like he attempted to defend the shot.
You can't stop wrestling.
Yeah. But, that's on you. Like, Suriano deserved to win that match. I think if Suriano comes back, he wins 133 hands down. Not because of technique. Technique, they're all really even. I think he has, that mental edge. Like, you know what I'm saying?
He's tough to score on.
Matches go to overtime. It's in Suriano's favor. Scoreless in third period is his favor.
Who's your pound for pound number one overall coming in? Is it Spencer?
It has to be. Yeah, it has to be Spencer Lee. I mean,
yeah,
because nobody else is. It could very well be like Stevan Micic, but it doesn't look the same. Like Stevan Micic could be better than Spencer Lee, pound for pound, but it wouldn't look the same because he's not pinning and taking everybody in the field.
Right.
Spencer Lee's not going to do that next year with everybody coming down to 25 if they do.
Right. Yeah, this will be an interesting year. I think
Especially, it looks like he could make like 110 if he really wanted to.
that guy's tiny, man.
Yeah.
He's strong.
Yeah.
That he gets a grip on your wrist, man. He does not let go.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm thinking actually.
Okay.
Mekhi Lewis could be up there, pound for pound.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Mhm.
We'll see. We'll see. I think
King Griffith went undefeated last year.
he did. Yeah,
Mhm.
he was one of those sleepers like Noah Adams, Shane Griffith, these guys that didn't get knocked
I
out.
don't like Noah Adams, honestly.
Yeah, I just mean like we didn't get to see
Yeah.
them have like a great run at NCAA.
Yeah. I think Noah Adams would have been like a Kyle Cornell story, like a great run. Just comes up just short.
I never heard of the guy,
Yeah.
honestly.
I think, yeah, Gable Stevenson has to be up there pound for pound, right?
Yeah, I think he's top three.
He has to.
I think the top five, it's probably like Spencer, Gable,
Oh,
Yanni,
Deacon, Ryan Deacon.
Yanni, Deacon, and somebody else. Mackay. Absolutely.
Yo, I'm missing somebody. I don't know why. Oh, Kemmerer.
That's true. Yeah, he's probably gonna run through the bracket.
Nah, I think he loses to Amin.
Oh, Amin, that's true.
And I think Massa places pretty high, 65.
That's true. I was kind of assuming now that Hall's gone that it's Kemmer's weight, but I forgot about Amin.
And if they go up a weight, I have Amin beating Aaron Brooks in the finals.
Yeah, Amin's a tough guy.
Amin's one of the toughest dudes I've seen.
Yeah,
Mark Hall barely beat him every time.
for sure.
Yeah, we're like 2 hours and 3 minutes in.
Really?
Yeah, and I started the timer a little bit late too.
Nah, you're good. You're good. Hold on.
So you want to start wrapping this up, or you want to keep going? Like we can keep going if you want.
I'm kind of out of things to say, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
So honestly, we'll just go with the recap. Like, where do you see Cornell placing finally?
Sure. Well, I think probably the lowest, and like assuming nobody gets hurt,
Yeah.
the lowest they're gonna drop is probably around fifth. And their ceiling is 1, but I honestly think they're probably gonna finish either second or third.
Okay, I have them actually placing second. I have Michigan placing first, claiming their first team title in a while.
Yeah, they haven't won in a
And
while.
I have I think there are enough upsets to go down, like which Iowa guys I think are going to get knocked off for Iowa to place third and lose just a lot of team points that way. But I think anything from fourth or below is wide open.
I agree completely. Yeah, you got to roll Penn State. I mean, Nebraska, they have a pretty good team, Nebraska, but I don't know that they're going to beat a Penn State type.
Yeah.
But I think honestly, Cornell, like they got a lot of young guys coming in, like Foca and Ramirez and Fernandez.
Those are complete Foca and Ramirez are complete wild cards. Luis Fernandez is a huge sleeper. The dude gets like you know how the what's it called, the improvement that Mason Parris has made from 1 year to the next. That's what Luis Fernandez can do times 2. I have so much faith invested in this kid that I know he's gonna be national champ.
I'm looking forward to it. The guy's talented.
Whether it takes, he has to be. I think he beats Greg Kerkvliet.
I can see
Maybe
it.
not next year, but in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe he has to wait till Gabe Stevenson's out the weight class though. But who knows?
That's fair. I think. I think 2 years from now is Cornell's year because they'll have Greg coming. They'll have Greg. They'll have Josh Saunders, and they'll have like all of their studs on their senior years. And then they'll have like.
I don't know. I don't know how Darmstadt's gonna do as a senior. Honestly, just weight wise, it doesn't look like he feels that good at 97. Also, Darmstadt going into the senior level. Hayden Zomer.
Yeah, Zomer. Yeah,
he's gonna be like that type of wrestler. At 230, I think like he's another guy like Brucky. Like you're too small to make the jump to heavyweight, but you're not performing as good as he could be at 97. Yeah. That's why I think 97 kgs, 213 is like a great weight for them.
Absolutely.
I think he's gonna be guy because Zomer was a D2 wrestler.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that much about him. I just know that he's a decent freestyler.
Yeah. Robbie Smith too, right?
Yeah, Robbie Smith.
He was a D2 wrestler also.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's just like guys can come onto the scene.
Mm-hmm.
after international. Like anything can happen.
Well, that's the thing. Jaden Cox, wasn't he like the 9th seed, and then he ran through everybody? Like, if you're a good wrestler and you're tough, you know what I
What was
mean?
Jimmy Cox the 9 seed?
It was like the year that I think it was his first world team or something, but he was seeded 9th at the world team draw.
I mean, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was,
yeah, the first year you hop into the world bracket, like Yanni was obviously going to be a lot if he made the world team. He was going to be a lot higher because he already had a win over the number 1 guy in the world at Beat the Streets.
it hurts me with Yanni because like Zayn he earned the spot.
Yeah,
He
he's
wrestles
in the spot. Everybody's going to hate on him.
he
Like,
wrestles him perfectly, and
but,
I as much as it pained me to watch him beat
yeah,
Yanni, like it was brilliant.
yeah.
But you have to say Yanni was gonna do better at Worlds than Zayn. Like Zayn he chokes. He loses tough matches. Like I think Yanni does better against those European guys.
But Zayn also is only getting better.
That's true. Here's the problem is like people accuse me, like I have a couple my friend Caleb, he's a big Penn State fan. He's
Yeah,
like, you hate Zayn. And I'm like, no, I don't hate Zayn. Like Zayn is one of my favorite 3 wrestlers of like all time.
yeah,
It's just that like when you go up against Yanni, who is like my
mm-hmm.
favorite wrestler of all
Yeah.
time, it's tough. But I am rooting for Zayn. I am. I've managed to keep it so that I'm rooting for Zayn and Yanni, just not when they wrestle each other.
I think Jordan Oliver could very well get the spot too.
The thing I wonder about him is he was really hot this year. Like he was looking really good.
Yeah, that's what I saw too.
You have to wonder if them pushing it back a year, if he's going to still be that motivated and in the zone. Because if he's not,
because I think Jordan Oliver, we both know he's getting kind of old.
that's the thing too. He's
Not insanely old, but as a really lightweight in a weight class that's evolving that fast, you don't know how long he might be going. Maybe he's a little bit extra motivated to finally get the spot. Like
right.
he's only like what is it, 27 or something like that, 28.
He was in college. Yeah, he's not 30 yet. He's under. I think he's 28.
He's decent. He's decent age though. He's not like Burrow's 32. Burrow's is like
He's 32.
Not like once in generation, like once in every few generations, that talent is gonna come through. Maybe he didn't do the right way against like all these Russians, but Burrow's it's his last opportunity.
Yeah. So you got Burrows beating Dick?
I don't know.
I can't pick it, but
I don't want to make a call on that yet.
I'm gonna say Dick will win, but I'm gonna get roasted by everybody. I've been calling it. I got to root for Dick, but
I like Imar honestly. I'm just gonna be that guy.
Well, Imar, I once told my friends I was like I like Imar better than I like JB. Like I respect JB more and stuff, but like I love watching Imar wrestle, and I got roasted for it. But I love watching Imar. He's tough, that guy.
I like JB over Dake, but I like Imar over JB, but I like Dake over Imar. That makes sense.
I could see that. Well, the thing is, Dake can't game plan around like Jordan Burrow. Like Jordan Burrow is just so good, but like I think he could probably handle Imar. But
Imar goes lefty underhook, Dake throws, and that's really it.
Yeah. But then Imar he looked really good against JB at Final X.
Yeah.
So
that's a big thing.
But yeah, that's about all I got really.
Yeah, so you just want to start wrapping this up now?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so yeah, this is basically our outlook on Cornell for next season, just to see how they do, where they place. Paul, you have them coming second or third. I have them coming second and just knocking off number 1 Iowa and just barely falling to Michigan and placing second. So yeah, this is Heavyweight Nation Podcast number 6. If you haven't yet, if you've gotten to this point in the podcast, just be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment. I answer all of them. And follow me on Instagram at Heavyweight Nation and follow him at Legendary Wrestler.
Yes, that's my hand.
Yeah. All right. That's it. All right. Peace, guys.